Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of mad actors will attempt to survive the dark and treacherous woods of Dungeons and Dragons.
I hate that. I hate it. I hate it.
Sunk and it's not okay.
I am your host and Dungeon Master, Jason Phelps, and I am joined as ever by Robbie Old Lang Syne Bellekom, Sam Old Man Time Burns, and Ellie Old Man Trouble Sparrow.
Old Man Trouble. Definitely a man with his voice that sits in the corner and tells you about all the nasty things he used to do to the women.
Guy with shotgun in rocking chair. That's all I'm thinking
Did you get
right
a bit
now.
dark?
Yeah.
I once killed 9 people.
Especially if it is also the guy with the rocking chair and the shotgun as well.
Well, I mean, I feel like I've unveiled my campaign 2 character voice too early. The whole of campaign 2 like this.
Oh, that'd be so funny.
It would be amazing, but also awful.
On the subject of Old Man Time and Old Lang Syne, first of all, hello Sam, you're with us in person again.
Sam's here with his face in his arms and stuff.
And secondly, by the time this comes out, it should be the new year, so happy 2019, people.
Also, we've been doing this for 6 months
We
now.
will be doing this for 6 months by this point.
Thank you all for staying with us for 6 months, guys.
Yeah, thank you for listening. We love you all very much.
Deep hearts.
And thank you for having so much enthusiasm and getting other people to listen to
Yeah.
it, because we're gradually edging towards 10,000 and might actually be there by the time this comes out, which is ridiculous. So thank you. We love you.
A virtual toast for making it this far without actually managing to strangle each other.
Hey,
Huzzah!
there's these
Huzzah.
nat 20s.
These nat 20s.
Chink.
None of us are drinking out of a wine glass, and I think all of us have tea or water today.
I have tea with whiskey in it. So.
Okay.
Fair enough.
At least someone is,
No, the rum will come at the break, I think.
Yes.
Someone is keeping us on brand. Speaking of keeping us on brand, it's time for me to ask Future Jason. Well, first of all, Happy New Year, Future Jason. Are there any messages from the dim and distant present? Happy New Year, everyone. It's Future Jason with messages from 2019. So, as always, a quick word from our sponsor. Libris Arcana offers monthly or quarterly dice subscriptions. Head over to librisarcana.com, and for less than $12, just under £9, you'll receive a set of 7 premium dice and 3 randomly selected bonus dice every month to sate the will of the die-hungry beast below. This month's set is Sonic Boom! You know, the internet is a wonderful thing. You can order a subscription with a few clicks of your mouse, touchpad or finger, and soon after your monthly dice subscription begins to arrive at your door. But how does it get there? Well, we headed back to our friend Gauthier Bonchance at the Libris Arcana Dice Assembly Plant to take us on the magical journey from the moment your dice leave the grubby clutches of the Onkadonkers to the moment it reaches your door. Hello! Welcome back to the Sugar Shack. As our fine, often confectionery-themed dice have finished cooling, they are neatly packaged up and sent off to get to you. First, the dice pack must travel through the hunting swamps that surround the Sugar Shack. The Onka-Donka, entrusted with the package, must pass through treacherous murk and evade the snapping jaws of the flesh vines, never making a noise above a whisper or a whimper, lest they attract the attention of the fever hounds. Upon reaching the edge of the swamp, the Onka-Donka prepares the dice package for the next stage of its journey by loading it onto a paper aeroplane. Next, a paper pilot and a series of paper stewards will prepare the paper aeroplane for flight and begin the perilous journey across the duo-dimensional sea. Only the finest paper is used in this process to ensure that the dice stored in the hold do not leak depth during the crossing. At the far end, once the paper aeroplane has landed and the paper pilot and stewards have headed off to get drunk on printer ink, the dice are stolen by a rolling rock, who smuggles them off to his mountain lair, where they are hidden amongst other rocks and boulders. While the rock is busy eating Blackpool rock, a passing rock spots the dice hidden amongst the rocks, and with magpie-like instincts, the rock rocks up and rocks the rock's rocks for dice, while the rock has rocked off for rock. The rock brings the dice back to its mountaintop nest, where it conceals the dice amongst its eggs, along with that one vizier's soul. Before any crafty adventurers can steal the dice while searching for egg souls, a band of clever goblins will crawl up through the mountain tunnels and steal the dice first, whereupon they will bring them down to the Hall of the Mountain King. While disconcerting music plays and a rising sense of drama begins to swell, the Mountain King will gift the dice as shiny, beautiful jewels from the surface to those of his knights that have served him best. Fortunately for you, various postal workers from across the globe have spent years earning the Mountain King's trust, so they can ensure that they receive your set of dice and deliver it that one last stretch to your very door. Listen up for a spot from our friends over at Modified Roll during the break this episode. We'd like to give you a very big thank you to all of our stowaways for listening and giving us such love these past 6 months. A few days before the end of the year, we hit 10,000 downloads across all our episodes and bonus content in less than half the time we had dared hope we could get here. So thank you, one and all, for supporting the audacity of our Mad Dungeons and Dragons show every week. All aboard, stowaways. 2019 is going to be one hell of a ride. Oh, and a quick Latin correction for later in the episode, by the way. Pilum singular. Pila plural. You'll understand when we get there. And now, back to you, Past Jason. For the queen be forgotten near. I don't know why I'm going West Country for that one.
Yeah.
It works.
Is that what that is?
Sorry, West Country. You got to have it.
He's fluent in gibberish, That's the word.
Scamp, they're talking to each other in halfling, I don't understand.
So, having successfully offended the Southwest, I will now proceed.
Sorry, but also.
Oh, take some more than that. Take some more than that.
More than that. I think on that,
Yeah,
on
we
that
should probably
tip, it's time to start Flintlocks and Fireballs. Our land stands on the sabre's edge.
Our cities are a powder keg.
Brother chains brother, no one's free. A life on land is short, you'll see.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
Previously, on Flintlocks and Fireballs. After the wreck of the Charlie's Regret, the party were stranded on the northern coast of Meadmere. Forced to travel across the great and treacherous Meadmerish forest, the party, with the aid of Gnomish Tailor and long-standing companion, Fighty Gubbenswick, have been traversing at least a couple of 100 miles thus far of treacherous, pixie-filled and dangerous woodland. However, after passing through the ominous ice-strewn ring of obelisks, the party entered a strange place where the dead seem to fill the roles of the living, constantly acting out a pantomime of their life over and over, some for perhaps millennia. Crossing deeper within, pursuing a strange impulse on Scamp's part, and not going too far off the direction they need to travel anyway, the party ventured into what seemed to be the remnants of a lost city of truly ancient architecture. Passing within, the party found evidence of a previous expedition which had ventured into the city, as well as signs of what seemed, as far as they could tell, to be an authentic, still very intact, ancient Tyrian fortification, as the legions might once have erected when in certain territory, when preparing to camp, as well as distant iron-armoured figures with swords and shields. As they went to investigate another of the most intact camp they'd thus found of these previous expeditionaries, just as they had recovered the remnants of an old journal, the heavy thump, thump, thump of footprints sounded. And peering out of one of the windows, they saw a great bronze figure approach. I'm going to reread the description because we're at the start of a new session. You see a full 16 feet in height, apparently kitted out with a set of plate armour appropriately sized for a giant. A huge cuirass with vambraces and greaves in burnished bronze, still gleaming ruddy metal after all this time, without so much as a spot of verdigris upon it. Beneath the armour pieces, however, sculpted bronze limbs fill out the space. The helm is patterned as an ancient hoplite's helmet, but with a sculpted faceplate in the image of a proud warrior with a beard curled into several rows of elaborate ringlets. Its eye holes appear to be dark and hollow within. Upon one arm it bears a wide, round shield of bronze, while the other hand grips a long bronze spear. Angular script encircles the shield's circumference, at the centre of which is depicted a stylized hammer. The figure is, you can see, is following a set of tracks leading directly towards where the four of you, let's not forget Fighty, are hiding. What do you do?
Does it look like it's seen us?
Make an insight check.
Can I also make one?
Yes.
Never mind.
Let's have a look.
I rolled a 4.
Oh, natural 20!
I rolled a 6,
rolled a
so I'm
5.
glad that somebody rolled well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't see
Scamp,
from down
you
here.
get the feeling that there are multiple routes along. Like studying the tracks, you can see that there are sort of multiple patrol routes it could take. It seems to be heading directly towards your location. That don't get the feeling that it's necessarily got a bead directly on you. Like it's not turned its faceplate to look at you specifically, but.
It's coming this way.
It seems like it's coming this way and perhaps might have noticed something.
I think we should fucking hide. That's fucking massive.
Yeah.
It's coming this way.
Right.
How confident are you that you can hide?
So just as a reminder, you're in one of these buildings with a few windows but no obvious doors leading down to ground level and a couple of stories in height.
Anything to actually hide behind or under?
There are well, yes. I mean, for one thing, there's lots of walling, but and there is a staircase. That's a set of stairs leading to an upper level. There are also the remains of a camp here, including, I believe it was, what appeared to be one of the legionnaires. Its body hacked apart at some point. And a series of old, somewhat moulded bedrolls, some backpacks, one keg, I believe actually, which I don't know if I mentioned it last time, which you had just... you haven't had a chance to crack it open, but you recognise the stamping on the side, Corzin, and you realise it's a keg of black powder, actually.
Oh, nice.
Ooh. Very useful.
We should nick that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a set of old stone shelves. To be honest, that said, though, like, yeah, hiding here is mostly those are your options functionally.
If we were to go up on the stairs, would we be in any direct line of sight to a window or a door?
You reckon you would be able, if you pressed yourself to the wall, to stay out of sight of the windows.
Right,
Should we hide on the stairs?
Yeah, Corzin's going to say, get away from the windows. Everyone up the stairs.
Okay.
Right.
Can I have a stealth check from everyone, please?
Okay. Would I have advantage of this
my
on
hood
this
up.
because of the boots?
Yes.
If I'm not within direct line of sight, does
That-
my disadvantage still stand? If it does, that's
I would
okay.
say because you are kind of hiding in a specific hiding place, which wouldn't necessarily put you in, I'll allow you to do this without your usual disadvantage.
Okay. If you want me to do it with
No,
disadvantage, I don't mind.
that makes sense in this case.
Yeah, I just thought it did because it's not really visual. It's if I make a noise.
23.
Cool.
Oh, that's
19.
Good. Oh, also 19. Ha ha ha.
And they've got disadvantage to spot me.
Yeah.
You hear the footsteps stop just outside one of the windows, and there's a gentle creaking sound, and you see, first of all, there is a as the long spear, which looks to have quite a lot of reach. Like, you know, it's comparable to a bill in terms of reach. Thrusts through one of the windows, wiggles around for a moment, then shortly thereafter is pulled back, and the helmet and faceplate move into the window, peers side to side. Doesn't seem to have noticed you. You're just outside of its arc of view. Pulls back. Continues trumping on, and you hear the footsteps grow distant.
Well, that was horrifying.
The bloody buggering hell was that?
I mean, is this familiar to any of us? Like, do we get a check, or is it just a no?
Scamp, how good a look did you get at it? Would you say you would have gotten at it?
When I was trying to see if I spotted it, I got a natural 20. I don't know.
Okay, so in which case, you recognise that the script around the shield's circumference was dwarven. However, given the fact that it's pretty archaic dwarven and your literacy level with dwarven,
I can also read a little bit of dwarven. But maybe less than Scamp, actually. So
yeah, Scamp has seen it well enough that they could recall and copy out the symbols. So, but it is still an archaic script. So, can I have both of you give me an intelligence check, please?
9!
3.
We're so smart.
We're
So
clever.
smart.
Okay, you
dear.
recognise a few words. There's a couple of names on it. Dunin, Muradin, and you recognise a couple of words. Unbroken, faithful, dark, and you're not sure if it's eat, consume, or swallow.
So unbroken, faithful, dark, and consume/swallow.
Law.
And two names, Dunin and Muradin. In fact, the order in which they come are Dunin, something, 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 I'm not really sure. I believe it was unbroken, I said. Something, something, Muradin.
You could have said them in the order.
Sorry,
That's really unhelpful.
You got really weird looking notes now as well.
sorry.
Unbroken.
Unbroken, something, something, Muradin. And then something, 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 faithful, something, something, consuming/swallowing, dark.
Okay.
Okay.
I've got a vague flowchart
Yeah,
now.
and it kind of rotates. It rotates round on itself.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because
Okay.
it's a circular inscription.
So no one really knows what the first one is going to be.
Yeah. So what should we do now? We've got this journal. Have a look at that.
Maybe not here, though.
Maybe we should move. It might come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know if it's going to stick through another window.
Can I very surreptitiously go down to the window and just carefully peer out to see where it's gone.
I'll keep your existing stealth check for the moment, for the purposes of anything else that might be looking. Give me a perception check.
Okay. Oh, perception. Okay. 24.
Okay, you can see that it is marching off in the direction of another set of buildings, and it does stop at one of them, thrust spear in, stick its head in, look around, move out, continues on. Seems like this might be part of just a standard searching protocol that it seems to be going through.
Where it stuck its spear in, is there like a notch in the wall now?
No, it's sticking it through the window.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't seem to be doing it in a way that damages the architecture necessarily.
Okay, all right. I relayed to the two of you. Looks like he's just patrolling on doing rounds, but...
Well, I suppose if we're out of here before he gets to his next round, might be alright.
I advise we are.
Alright, let's fucking go then.
Yeah. Looking around, I would say for comparison, you saw the ring of very short towers around that you passed through. You can see a bit more of these periodic isolated buildings. You get the feeling that, judging from the circumference of the towers and so on, if this was a city and the towers mark the edges of it, it was about of comparable size to Crosswater, maybe a bit larger.
Okay.
With the pyramid at its centre.
That's huge.
That is massive, actually, yeah, because Crosswater was really big.
Capital city.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually a capital, but it was a bit like... I think it was either Marseille or Toulouse in this sort of time France. It was about the same size as Paris. It was, but sort of like the capital of the south, as it were. Right?
Yeah.
So, but it's the largest city apart. It might actually, from memory, I think Crosswater is slightly larger than Brighthall proper, like the capital Brighthall is.
Okay. So I guess we try and get a fair distance away with some stealth involved.
Okay, what?
Oh, so much stealth.
Yeah, so much stealth,
yeah. So you're moving stealthily then.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Maybe you should change your clothes.
Oh yeah.
I'll say that in character. Actually,
No.
maybe get changed.
You do have a point. I am quite bright. I get changed into my still ridiculous but slightly less absurd clothing. So the Bowie shirt and the silver trousers.
Okay.
I suppose you have a point. Fighty, who has been quiet up to this point, takes his scarlet coat and reverses it to a brown one.
Oh, that's very cool.
So done.
Clever.
Thank you very
Maybe
much.
I should get you to make me a reversible thing, so that I can be fabulous or stealthy.
Maybe, yeah.
That might be
We
clever.
can always look into that at some point.
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds good.
So that Fighty isn't giving himself disadvantage.
Yeah, I guess I'm still wearing my winter coat though because it's freezing.
Oh
so,
yeah. You're kind of just like throwing something over it.
Oh, I'm changing everything under it.
Yeah,
'Cause
changing
it's the
everything
bit
under
under it that's too
True.
much,
I
isn't
mean,
it?
the winter coat is... No, it's a darker sort of purple with silver highlights.
Up to you, darling.
Okay, if you're changing everything else under it, I'll say I'm not going to give you the disadvantage.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not wearing my white boots, you know. I'm wearing my purple boots.
I mean, fortunately, there is a fair bit of snow still around. So.
Yeah.
True. God, I still stand out like a sore thumb, don't I?
Yeah.
But maybe I'm not at least like a fucking beacon, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, where do you guys want to head towards? Because there's a lot of just general, like, these weird isolated buildings. And you could go... Yeah, there's isolated buildings everywhere. There's the fortress that's been built, as it were, on ground level. There is the pyramid itself. You can see that there are windows kind of leading into... in at very, actually much rarer points leading into the pyramid. There's the apex of the pyramid as well. You don't know whether there's anything up there. It just looks like just a solid... actually, what would the capstone be for this? No, the capstone of this would actually not... Because most of it is built out of white stone. You're not entirely sure what type. But the apex of it is actually cut out of some sort of black-looking stone.
Ooh, very cool.
Just the very top capstone of it.
Okay.
Interesting.
In fact, give me a perception check.
Okay.
Everyone?
Everyone.
Ah, shit. 6.
14.
6.
Wait.
Corzin, you swear you can see something just very slightly wisping out of the top of it, like almost
Good.
Smoke?
not so much like smoke. It's hard to see. It's like almost like a heat haze, just at the very apex. But like, if you took a flame and you got rid of all of the light.
Okay, if I'm gonna point this out to the others. Like, what the hell is that?
Can we see it when he points it out, or not?
See, just above the capstone there.
Oh,
What
this
are we
is
talking
an
about?
important question. Yes. Celestia and Scamp, you can see this. Fighty peers up. Can't really see what you're talking about there.
It's just like a vague shimmer in the air, like.
It's like it's hot or something.
I've got to be honest with you, I don't have the best eyesight. But I'll take your word for it.
Fair enough.
Right, just.
Okay.
Scamp, I suppose that's where we're fucking going, isn't it? I can tell.
Well,
You're definitely getting that pull towards the pyramid.
I mean, it'd be weird to go this far and end up in a shop or a house.
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
just
There's a
was
big
hoping we
ominous
didn't have to go
pyramid.
to the big ominous pyramid, but we definitely do.
Okay. Can I have some stealth checks from people, please? And this might be a couple of them. This is for the first strip bit. It's a strip.
So that's 19 again, actually.
That's a dirty 20 if I'm not rolling with advantage, or a 22 if I am.
Yeah, you are, because in this occasion, having the silence would help.
Yeah.
And Scamp?
15, but they do have disadvantage to spot me because I've got the hood up.
Cool. All right. So we'll do this as a straight one then. So gold would be what it would count for. Gold is Scamp.
Ah.
Okay. As you're making it through the actual entry to the pyramid is probably about a mile distant from this point. So you do actually you're having to work your way, moving quickly between the remaining trees, as there are still some trees, although they get thinner and thinner as you go in, and using the tall sort of buildings for cover. At one point, you almost run directly into a patrol of about 6 of these armoured sort of ancient Tyrian soldiers. Sort of desiccated, grey-skinned, 4 what look like humans with setups that they've got these large sort of tower shields, stabbing swords, and actually pairs of javelins on their backs. And behind them, you can see there are 2 sort of mummified halflings walking behind in lighter sort of auxiliary versions of the armour. They don't have shields. They do have what looks similar to the halfling sacks, actually, at their belt, but again, looking quite similar to the Tyrian sword design, that sort of gladius style.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
But they also have what you can see are long slings, and actually, these would actually be formed slings. Slings on the end of staffs for extra range. So sling staffs and some pouches of what you would assume to be lead shot. So very, very classical pre-gunpowder halfling weaponry.
Yeah, it goes on to say, yeah. Said an expert slinger could hit something 300 feet away.
Bloody hell. Best not cross them then.
They do seem to be keeping an eye out, but they march on. As they're passing, however, none of you are proficient in the relevant skills for this. Maybe Scamp. Okay, can I ask for an intelligence check from each of you with Scamp? You can add your proficiency bonus to this.
What is it?
That would be a dirty 20.
Okay.
That's 14.
Ah, wait. Why was I rolling 2 dice? That's because all I've rolled today so far. I will roll that again. Oh, that's not great. Intelligence plus 10.
Okay. Corzin, you notice there's something kind of familiar about the weapons, but you're not their weapons that they're holding, the ones with bared blades that you can see. But Celestia, you're the one who kind of twigs this from recognizing it. The swords that they're carrying have a distinctive damascened pattern to them that you recognize as being the like similar to the damascened effect from that one dwarven gunsmith you saw with
the
rolling
circles.
the steel and iron together. But this isn't patterning. This is what happens when you alloy steel with adamantine.
Oh.
That's adamantine, that is. What drow have.
Now that you mention it, that she mentions it, Corzin, you realise, oh yeah, it does look like the arrow you have.
Yeah. Alright.
Why do they have that?
Well kitted
They're
out.
fabulously wealthy.
Probably. I mean, it is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
This is all a bit fucking weird. Shall we try and find a place to sit down and read this journal, see if it's got anything useful in it?
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to take cover in one of these houses before continuing on to the next leg of your journey to
I
the
just
pyramid.
don't feel like realistically we'd be walking along reading a journal out if we were trying to be stealthy.
You find... okay, so I'm going to say, give me an investigation check to find a safe place.
Do you want me to do it with advantage?
Yes.
Because
Yes,
I've
please.
got the skill.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. Jesus, 11.
Okay, it takes you a couple of minutes of searching, but you find one building that doesn't have too many viewpoints that like open windows that you could easily look in, and you climb up to the 3rd floor. It's one of the taller structures,
And try and hang out where there's no windows.
Yeah,
I guess
this is an interesting one. They're looking around. This place. This looks like it may have been not academic. This structure, you can't. The 2 lower levels are like the very lowest level. Looking at this lowest floor, however, it looks reminiscent of a bedroom. You can see where there would be space for a bed that's no longer here. Where there are shelves, slots. There's even like a large stone coffer which would have had a wooden cover at one point, and you can see that there are almost abstract shapes carved into the wall, and tiny flecks of paint, like just the tiniest flecks of paint remaining where once there might have been murals or something painted onto it. But as you get up to the upper levels, you can see there are racks and racks of stone slots, of the kind where you would recognize this Celestia from seeing similar things in a dwarven shop. They're not like where most people use paper, sometimes for old documents and so on. Or for permanent records, dwarves will continue to make their markings in stone, like in stone tablets.
stone tablets, yeah.
This place, there are no tablets in the shelves, but you can see these are clearly pigeonholes for tablets, maybe clay rather than stone. But this, from how they're arranged, from the sheer number of them, and on both of these floors, this looks like some sort of ancient library or records keeping room. But any actual documentation, as it were, within this place, there's no sign of it.
Okay.
However, when you get to the very top layer, the roof, you can see, is marked with small circles. And I'm going to ask... I could ask both... This is a nature check.
Okay.
Celestia, you make this check with disadvantage.
Cool.
In fact, Corzin, you can make it with your proficiency. If you don't have net proficiency,
I'm trained in it anyway.
You can add your proficiency.
What is it? Nature?
Yeah.
That would be a 4.
Okay.
7.
Scamp?
Oh, nature. 4.
Okay.
Fucking hell.
During the course, it takes you a long while to figure this out, and during the course of your reading, at one point, Corzin, you look up and you recognise a series of about 7 little circles on the ceiling that you recognise as being the boar.
Ah.
Oh, right. Oh, cool.
And you realise this
the constellation
is
of the
like
boar.
a little constellations.
See that in character.
Is this a star map? Right.
Is it that fucking thing that you were talking about before that doesn't look like a boar?
Well, it looks like it's a if not a map of the night sky, then certainly some constellations.
Fair enough.
Is it accurate? Is there anything missing or added or?
Would I know that?
Well, one moment as the DM just kind of tries to remember how much constellations change over time.
They move around the sky, but they don't actually change. The actual constellations
depends
don't
on how long, because stars die.
True, actually.
Assuming that...
And new stars appear. But if it's a long enough time...
It's got to be a really fucking long time.
We're talking millions of years.
I'm just remembering that episode of Sherlock where they found something different in the sky.
Yeah.
It was something that hadn't appeared, and that's how they worked out it was a forgery.
I would say, based on this, you can make another nature check now that you know what it is.
Okay.
Everyone or just
anyone who wants to, but again with disadvantage, Celestia, because this is well
it's
outside.
The sky.
It's the sky.
I'm going to say I don't even make one because I don't know.
Probably this is just
okay. That's better. That's 19.
Yeah, and you can
I don't
add your
think Scamp really knows the
I'm
you can add your
anyway.
proficiency if you. Oh, you're a proficient already.
Yeah.
Sorry. 19. Okay. Yeah, there's several of a number of the major stars you recognise have moved. The boar is in a slightly different position to where it would be. Like, it matches the sky as you look up from where you are now, like from when you've been camping. If you had to peg a guess, this is a star chart from in excess of 3,000 to 4,000 years ago. You don't know exactly. It's not a 20, so you couldn't go to like a figure. You would say less than 20,000, more than 3,000. You're not like you reach a point where you kind of just don't know how much stars drift.
All right. This is old though. Those constellations are all still there, but they've shifted. This is thousands of years old.
Seems like a lot of things here are thousands of years old.
Yeah. Also,
what the fuck happened here? Some weird shit has happened here.
This is weird combinations of all different periods of history, but
yeah, because this is thousands of years. Something else was thousands of years, and then we've got this journal from 7 years ago.
All right, let's get away from the windows and see if we can figure out what this says.
Yeah, shall I just read this to you? It's probably easiest, isn't it?
Skimming through it, you find that most of it appears to be the life and times of an officer and mage in the service of the Osirian army, and are pretty fucking dull up until the last few entries.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Celestia's skimming through, going boring. He's having lunch again. This is dull. Oh, okay, this looks like it might be something, right?
I wanted to hear about the lunch.
It was very nice lunch. He had dumplings. It was very good. But I mean, not like helpful. This one is from the 8th of Full Boughs, 1790. So 7 years ago. It says, "I am having serious doubts about the Major's decision to lead us through the great forest to make this rendezvous. While we will be perfectly placed to spring an off-the-books attack on the Meadmerish gun runners supplying guerrilla fighters in the Halfland, I doubt that a trip through the woods is any safer than a full frontal attack for all the surprise it would garner us. I am sick and tired for one of pixies stealing all our surprise. Well, we know that feeling, don't we? Still, I am maintaining sendings to the command, and we are still on schedule." Okay, so then nothing interesting for another 8 days. And then on the 16th of Full Boughs, again 1790, so same year. He looks a bit more bothered this time. "St. Dustin and the Regent. Our encampment was attacked by Wood Elf raiders. I didn't even think those were still around. Half the company is dead, the cleric is dead, and I'm doing what I can to gather survivors and get us moving. The elves are tracking us, but if we keep moving, we should be able to make our way out." And then, again, nothing wildly exciting for a few days. He doesn't write anything until the 5th of Falling Fruits, so a few days later. He says, "It's been 2 weeks of constant hounding. The elves picking us off one by one and driving us deeper into the forest. We tried standing and fighting twice, and we just lost more men to their snipers. There are 30 of us left now." Didn't say how many he started with, but I assume that must be a significant loss.
Would I know what the other company size would be?
Well, if they brought a full brigade, that would have been around 500 men.
Okay.
But it seems if they were doing a stealth, if it was a stealth mission, it would be more likely half that. So 250. 250.
Corzin would say that's 250 men all told. If it was a like even half a brigade.
And there are 30 left. Fucking hell, wood elves are like we've heard of, aren't they? Well,
they were obviously attacked in a situation where their enemy knew the terrain and used it to their advantage.
Well, whoever it was still alive the next day, because it says the 6th of Falling Fruits, again 1790. For the first time in weeks, the elves have not attacked. What are they planning? And that's all they've written on that one. And the next day after that, again, the elves did not attack. One of the soldiers sent out to forage reported some sort of huge obelisk sticking up through the ground. Another of the foragers went out past the obelisk, but did not come back. It seems the elves are still waiting for us, but won't pass by the pillar. Why? Is that those things that we walked past, do you think?
Why, indeed. It would seem to make sense, but I mean, think about where we found this.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen any wood elves anywhere.
No.
I mean, there was that grey stalker person that might have been one at some point, but no live wood elf so far.
No.
I don't know the ones they saw were necessarily alive.
We haven't seen anything alive so far, other than ourselves.
I will say that, like, you did in the course of the week or so you were travelling encounter various wildlife, a few bears, some dangers, but for the most part you were able to fend them off or evade them, and they weren't worthy of mentioning.
Okay,
but you certainly didn't, as far as you could tell, encounter any wood elves.
Okay.
Yeah, and after we came through the line of pillars, we've only seen dead stuff. Am I right?
No living wildlife,
Yeah.
no pixies.
That was more what Corzin was referring to.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to check that I had that right, because that might be important. Okay, last entry. 8th of Falling Fruits, so next day after that. I never thought my church school education would ever actually come in use. The obelisk is written in a very archaic form of celestial. I should have paid more attention in that lesson. Can't read fucking celestial. Proclaiming these lands to belong to something or somewhere. Celestial pronouns are ambiguous. Called Kabir Nagash. Anyone heard of that?
Have any of us?
You have not.
Okay. New to me.
Me too. If I'm right, this is the outer reach of some sort of city-state, but it would have to predate the Regency, maybe even a contemporary of the early Tyrian Republic. The top layers of writing are essentially a list of proclamations and warnings, proclaiming safety for all who enter and urging them to obey the laws of land and the sky. So, the top bit of writing is all about, you'll be safe, obey the laws of land and sky. Okay. There is more writing, but it is buried under the surface. In fact, given how large the writing is, I would not be surprised if it was meant to be read at a great distance. There may be more deeper in, and it's not as if we can easily leave. Why couldn't they leave? It's weird.
Well, they were pinned down here, weren't they? If they were afeared of wood elf attacks whenever they were on the move.
True. They couldn't get back out.
Yeah.
Perhaps we can cross through this place and find another way out. Cross through this place. Maybe, I don't know, were they just trying to get to the other side, maybe?
Yeah, the other side of the city.
Well,
Again,
that looks
given where
about
we found
it.
it would make sense.
You can see that this journal, the last page is a little torn, as if it was ripped in half.
Oh, okay. The page that I've got
So
with the
the page
writing
that you
on
got
it.
is the last page you have with writing on it, and it looks like there might have been more, but you don't have that part of the journal.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, it sounds like that barrier is supposed to be safe to some capacity. It's supposed to be keeping people safe in here. So maybe it was made as a safety barrier for the city.
Maybe.
I mean, whether it's still safe now is another thing, because there's nothing alive
Depends.
in here apart
Safe
from
for
us.
whom, though?
Yeah, I
If
doubt
it's
it's intended for us.
If it's an ancient Tyrian construction, then, and it has protection spells on it, then the Regent only knows what it would interpret us as.
Fuck knows. I mean, whatever it is, it seems to want Scamp.
Something does.
Fighty, this place that we're heading towards, do you think it might be the epicenter of this?
No, I've got a sense for these things, and we actually want to go. I mean, really, we can go any points in direction which is actually a bit off from the pyramid. We just want to keep going that way for I'm not entirely sure how long. Pretty much by coincidence, this happened to take us along this, along this path, and it's not much of a detour to go visit this. The place I'm taking us to seems to be essentially unrelated. I think the only reason we ran into this is because it seems to cover such a wide area, and we just happened to pass through it.
Right.
All right.
I don't like this.
No, I don't either.
I don't like that something's pulling you. I look at Scamp. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
But I don't think we can go past it, can we?
Have you got any sense of what it is, Scamp?
No.
Well, I suppose we should probably go in and get it over with and then fuck off.
I guess it's probably something tiefling, if the tiefling skin map is... I don't know. I don't think it's good.
I mean, if there's something that pulls tieflings in and then maps turn up made of them, I don't think this bodes very well. Or it could be a sorcerer thing. I mean, you don't really have anything in common with the rest of us. No.
No. Yeah.
Well, so long as we can avoid any other giant bronze men, I'm sure we'll be alright.
Out of character for a second, I was just like, it could be a beacon calling to all the non-binary people.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Could be, yeah.
Non-binary party.
There's actually just this really, there's this...
Lovely LGBT
there's
gathering
this
going on.
party in the middle. It's like, oh, hey, you made it! Oh, don't worry about all the undead out there and everything.
Everything's covered in rainbows, lovely day.
That's just the gatekeepers. You get past those, and there's a lovely party.
Envy flags everywhere.
Brilliant.
It's definitely not going to be that, but it was a nice thought, and I wanted to
is a
share
nice
it.
Hey, it'd literally be sunshine and rainbows, wouldn't it?
It's gonna be evil, magic, and death.
It is.
Okay.
Oh.
You find yourself feeling not slightly pessimistic at the as to the possibility of sunshine and rainbows inside.
Alright, well, so long as our path is pretty much parallel with this thing, I don't see that there's any harm in continuing. But, and this is a big but, mind you, if we...
Sorry.
I did the same thing.
Corzin just sort of looks at you like,
you're like, your
what?
butt's big, Corzin. I'm sorry, I'm nervous. It's been a high-stress situation for a while.
Corzin sighs deeply and continues. If we see anything that suggests that there is danger, we are not taking any risks. Our primary concern is to get out of this situation alive.
Yeah. None of us can afford to die.
No.
Yeah.
None of us.
I can't walk past it though.
I know,
I'm
but if
sorry.
something tries to fuck with you, I'm fucking picking you up and running out of there.
Agreed.
I can't promise I won't run back.
I know. Right, let's go then.
Yeah. Keep your eyes open.
In fact, yeah. No, you wouldn't hear that. In the okay, yeah.
That's so scary.
Yeah.
I hate you.
In the
Oh
distance,
wait, no, you wouldn't have heard that. You
hear that.
fucker.
In the very distance, you Corzin with the highest passive perception, you just hear
Yeah.
ting. Well, it sounds like a very distant ting, 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 ting sounds.
Blacksmith?
Taking it, peering through the window, you can see you can just make out the sight of what looks to be the bronze statue figure a few streets away. And as it's thrust forward, you hear a crunch as the spear goes scrapes along some of the white stone of the building, and you can see it seems to be engaged in combat with about 3 of those patrols of Tyrians. And you watch and you can see the halfling slingers are holding back and hurling stones at it. And again, you see the distinctive glint of what looks like sort of maybe adamantium steel in the bullets as they strike the bronze and actually manage to leave small dents.
Were there dents on it before?
No.
Okay, interesting. So this might be the first time this has happened, as opposed to like everything else that's looping.
At the same time, however, you see crunch as one of the human mummified figures attacks. The spear actually goes through the centre of it, impaling it, and it flings it to one side where it crunches against the building and then slumps down.
Oh. Right.
That's odd. Gives them a wide berth.
Yeah, let's stay away.
You continue on towards the pyramid?
Yes.
Yes.
As you make your way out and use this distraction to escape, after you watch out the corner of your eye as this exchange continues for another minute or so before both sides, as it were, retreat, the bronze colossus seems to have taken not necessarily a dangerous amount of damage. It doesn't look like it's about to fall apart, but enough that it looks like it's it's taken quite a number of scratches and dents and beatings, and it sort of holds its shield up and begins to retreat away. The Tyrian soldiers, by comparison, you notice, go over and seem to recover their fallen, those that have been hacked apart or torn or impaled, and begin picking them up and dragging them back towards the fort.
Okay.
Right.
Quick, it's injured. Let's kill it.
No,
No.
Let's
Kidding.
run.
Kidding.
No.
So joking.
In all seriousness, if it starts coming our way, I don't make noise when I move. I will create a distraction and try and lead it off. Then I can double back and rejoin you.
No, that's a terrible idea. Let's just keep moving.
I think we should avoid that if we can. But
I am
maybe
the
as a
smallest person here. It will have the hardest time seeing me.
I can fly.
Maybe let's
That's
leave
pretty
that for if that
distracting.
happens. You know, like I wouldn't just do it.
Give me another stealth check as you're making your way.
14.
Dirty 20.
18.
Okay. You're making you traverse quickly over the next 5 to 10 minutes, getting closer and closer towards the pyramid. It's only as you approach, however, that you hear the sounds of. You turn and you can see the length of a street away, the still dented and slightly damaged looking bronze colossus is now, its faceplate is facing directly towards you, Celestia.
Oh shit.
And it has begun to break into a jog.
Shit.
Okay,
Scamp
how
flying.
close together are we? Are we close enough to touch?
Yes, I'd say you're close enough. You're certainly within moving distance of each other, able to touch.
Okay, I'm going to twin a fly spell on Celestia and myself, and then I'm going to pick up... Who's the lightest?
Corzin.
Corzin.
We decided Corzin's lightest. I'm
he's
going
the
to grab
smallest,
Corzin
Yeah.
under the arms and lift him up.
I'll grab Fighty.
Yeah, it's definitely
Just
noticed
shout.
Spicy, by the way. You rolled a 2 on this stealth check.
Aw. Straight up!
Oh, why do we have to keep flying? This is horrible. Let's go.
Okay, yeah, you fly directly up the the bronze colossus. Thuds forward until it's directly where you were. Stares up. Adjusts so it's got the shield facing upwards, protecting you. Spear ready, and seems to just wait, following you as you're in the sky, a good however many feet above it. You've got 60 feet per round. So
just out of range of things.
I mean, how out of range do you want to go? Do you want to go up the full 60 feet?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Might
It seems to just impotently wait.
I think should we try and get out of sight? Where can we go? Should we just go towards the pyramid?
I'm gonna try flying 10 feet to one side and see if it follows.
You fly 20 feet to the one side. Moves until it's kind of equidistant between the pair of you, and waits.
Right. I can concentrate on this for 10 minutes. We could just throw shit at it.
We could, but I don't know if it'll die.
I don't either. And it might draw attention of more stuff.
Yeah, I think maybe we should try and get away.
The best thing we can do is try and break line of sight with it.
Yeah, let's try and get somewhere.
Okay, you are pretty much right there. You're within about 200 feet of the pyramid by this point, actually, as well.
Could we just fly to the pyramid?
Give me a perception check.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
14?
4.
9.
Oh, sorry, 15.
15. Okay, Celestia, you can see that you can see with a 15, which is what you needed, 3 potential entrances. As I said, there are not really many windows on this, and the few slots that there are, for the most part, are like thin grill type slots.
Like arrow slots.
Yeah, like arrow slits, letting in light but not really allowing egress. There are 2 ways in, both on the ground that you can see, one on either side of the pyramid, because you're in a position where you can see two faces of it, essentially. There conceivably might be others somewhere near there. There is also there is a small hole. It looks more like a window, but it would be wide enough for you to fit through. Mm-hmm. Circular hole up at the top, just beneath the black capstone of the pyramid.
Okay. Right, I've got an idea. So I reach over my back, go dang on my guitar, and from the guitar I throw down a ball of darkness, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Throw down a ball of darkness onto the bronze colossus's face. Okay, let's fly away. Go. Run.
You hear a boom, boom, boom.
Good shot.
But I want to throw it and then have us leave.
No. As you're fleeing, you see the bronze colossus sort of emerge in a random direction out of it and begin searching the skies. Okay, so where do you want to head to while you're fleeing?
I guess one of the entrances of the pyramid would be ideal.
Yeah, do you want to go for one of the ones on the ground or the one by the apex?
I'd say apex.
Should we go straight to the top?
Wasn't there a lot of things patrolling the edges?
There certainly are, Tyrian patrols and so on the ground.
Alright, apex it is then.
Let's start at the top.
Okay, as you fly up to the top, the Colossus seems to spend a few moments looking for you, doesn't seem to spot you, and then you see it begin to march off towards one of those 2 entrances, which are just wide enough for the Colossus to actually get into. They're pretty wide, tall entry ways. However, you fly up towards the top, and as you get there, this close, you can all see coming out of the top of this capstone is just this strange. It's like a roaring flame, but there's no light to it. You can feel, and there's not heat either. When you get this close, you can feel it is like being in a blizzard. There's just this roaring cold coming out of the very top of this cap, and just this distortion in the air, much like a flame, but with no light to it. It is freezing cold. You're not really close to it long enough, unless you decide to stop and really investigate for a while, for you to risk cold damage. The other thing you do notice, however, is that the capstone which must weigh several tons, if it's not just foiled, as it were, on the outside, appears to be made or plated in adamantine.
Oh.
God, they've got a thing for adamantine here, haven't they?
Maybe it was cheaper then.
More abundant, possibly.
Never heard of it being cheaper. Like, it's the world's hardest metal. It's never going to have been cheap, is it?
No.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe there was a place where they made it around here.
Well,
I
by
don't
the
know.
looks of things, if they're alloying it with other metals, then it was at least available here.
Maybe common.
Which, these days, adamantine is highly sought after, not only because it's got so many different applications, but because it's rare, like gold.
You would know that it is rarer than gold. There is, as to the best of your knowledge, maybe one source of it. If that source isn't exhausted, and the dwarves keep mum about that.
Yeah.
All
They're
right.
the only people who seem to have anything even approaching a reliable supply.
Okay.
Shall we go in?
Well, we've come this far.
Scamp, is this the place?
You can
Yeah.
feel the pull directly downwards from here.
Yeah, it's in the creepy temple.
Right, fuck it. Let's go in then.
Okay, you descend down through this sort of hole, kind of like a moon. door.
Before we do that, I say from the apex, Fighty, which direction is it from here?
Over there, Fighty points, and it's basically just continuing south, broadly south, like very south, southeast, maybe.
Okay.
And it points on from there. It's like a bit cold up here, isn't it?
Fucking freezing, darling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make an insight check.
Both of us?
Yeah.
Ooh, everyone.
Shit.
Everyone.
Ooh,
Natural 20.
Okay.
17?
3.
Yeah. Okay. So Scamp and Corzin, you realise Fighty's has not visibly reacted to the presence of this weird sort of non-flame. He, in fact, with that natural 20, you get the feeling that he just can't see it. He seems to be able to. He can feel the cold, but.
Have we established whether or not Fighty can see spirits?
We
did
know
with
for a
last
fact that
episode.
he cannot.
Yeah.
In which
So
case...
I waved the rainbow
yeah.
around in front of him and he couldn't see it.
Yes. Alright.
How are the spirits reacting? Actually, sorry, I cut you off.
This is
Sorry.
a fair point. Yeah, they are all staying the fuck away from this flame. They
Okay.
all look incredibly skittish.
Yeah, sorry, Sam. What were you going to say? I cut you off.
No, I was going to say, seeing this, Corzin would come to the reasonable conclusion. This is... I don't know what this is, but this is spirit magic. If
I will
Fighty
confirm,
can't see
Scamp,
this...
you can see this.
I can see it. It's not spirits.
That's fucking weird, that is. Maybe it's just magic in general? Fighter, you can't see anything at the top of this pyramid, can you? I'm not being dumb
I
here.
can see a big old black cap, and it's really friggin' cold up here. It must be altitude.
Okay, right.
No, there's a magical effect of some kind that's making it cold.
It's like a flame, but it's cold.
Yeah.
I'll take
Right
your word
there.
for it.
Obviously something magic, but not like anything we've seen because we can all see it. That's not usually how it works. Also, my spirits are fucking afraid of it.
Same.
Scamp,
yet-
you hear a voice in your head. Yes, I wouldn't go into that if I were you.
Is this the way?
Is this the way in? Is it through this flame, or is it?
No, you can see that
Okay,
there's
good.
there's a beneath where the cap is, back
Okay,
into the white
there's a-
stone. There is a sort of moon-shaped hole into a chamber below.
Let's get
I
away
don't
from
think
this
we
flame.
should touch it.
No, I'm getting that feeling too. Let's get away from it. Let's go inside.
Jeffrey, who is clinging to your shoulder.
Jeffrey!
How often can we forget Jeffrey
Yep,
exists?
Jeffrey is kind of freaking out a little bit. He doesn't seem to react. Like, Jeffrey, again, doesn't look like he can see the flame. It's just really fucking cold, and he's
Oh.
shivering. Also, Jeffrey's not quite adapted to flight yet.
Mind that monkey of yours. He'll give away our position.
He's not a fucking stealthy monkey. Why the fuck did you get a monkey? This is the worst.
At least it wasn't a possessed parrot.
Fair.
True.
Unhelpful at this point.
Right, let's go inside. Come on.
You
It's
descend
cold.
down through the moon-shaped sort of hole, and you can see that this fairly wide window does brightly illuminate the chamber beneath. The top of this chamber, which is kind of arch-shaped all around, seems to expose into like a little circular kind of disc of what you recognise as adamantine. Okay, apparently no, that cap is solid.
Wow.
And you can see the interior of this room has been beautifully carved in relief in the image of a vast of a city, like a full-on metropolis, but all of kind of a structure of an architectural design which is unfamiliar to you. It looks... There's a lot of focus on spires, but with a very rectangular, kind of blocky aesthetic. There's a lot of stepping elements to it. Nothing that really persists today. But you can see, it's almost as if someone went to the top of this highest point in a city and then carved what they saw. And the city is a lot deeper than it is on the surface. Looking out of the window and matching up to the towers that you can, like the buildings on the ground that you can see, these would have been the tops of tall towers and large structures. It's as if from this view, the whole city is about maybe a good 80 to 100 feet deeper than it should be.
Right.
And you can see in this carving it would have extended out to a tall city wall with high towers around the outside of it. And in the very, very, very distance, like distant enough that these cannot cannot have been carved to scale. More emblematically, you can see tiny versions of really tall obelisks with the eyes at the top. And you can see there are aqueducts, a river flowed through this place. This seems to be an image of a once bustling city. To one side of this you can see there is a set of stairs, stone stairs going down, and in the very centre, you can see there is a circular platform, ringed with glyphs in what you assume, because of the similarity of writing, but none of you can read, is celestial, and very complex diagrams and arrangements. Scamp, give me an Arcana check.
10.
Something about this resonates with you. Something about this circle. You don't know how or why, but it seems to... The feel of it, the taste, it's rare that you kind of look at be near a thing without, using your colouring book to detect magic. But you, just being near this thing, let alone potentially touching it, you know that this is magic. And it seems to have the same kind of taste as your Misty Step. In some way. You're not really sure how, and you get the feeling that the ring of markings on the outside are almost like a name or a code or an address.
Is this it?
This is not what you are drawn to. That is deeper down.
It's important, though.
How so?
It was. I don't know. It feels like something for, I don't know, moving or a place. I don't know.
Give me an investigation check, anyone who wants to take a bit further look around the room.
I just want to run my hands over it.
I keep rolling threes.
Look.
Okay.
7.
5.
9.
You feel sort of resonant to it. It feels familiar to the magic within you in some way, but it's distant. It's beyond what you have now. You feel like if there was more, if you could reach deeper into the well of power within you, you could connect to this in some way. But you're not quite sure how. 9 was the highest. Yeah, looking around, you don't really notice anything more in this place.
Fair enough. So, where are we going, Scamp?
Down.
Right.
Further
Actually,
down.
there'll be more of this pyramid underground, won't there? Because it's all buried.
Yeah.
Seems like it.
Underground is my territory. Let's go.
Right you are.
You begin stepping down. And
What's the light level like in here?
when you get out of this room, no light. As you step down, you realise the chambers below, and it seems to be a set of corridors, are just pitch black.
Mm-hmm.
I go, hang on,
I'll
darling,
get
and
the
I go
torch
ding,
out.
ding, ding, ding on my guitar, and 4 little blobs of light appear and
Nice.
wander around our heads. Purple, dramatic.
And because you're now level 5, they actually have a slightly wider light radius as well.
Oh, yeah, they
because of
do.
evolving
Yeah,
cantrips,
of course.
rules.
I think it's like 20 feet now, isn't it, rather than 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 10 feet of strong light, 10 feet of dim light, instead
Yeah.
of just 10 feet of dim light. It's quite nice. You actually get, they're much brighter,
Fun.
it's easier for you to make your way along.
Mm.
Okay, so as you are progressing downwards, then you can see this corridor for the most part seems to run around the outside of the pyramid
Okay.
and continue along a while before it hits a set of steps going down. There are a lot of doors, but they're all stone doors. They're heavy stone doors, and they show no sign of any obvious way to open them, almost like they've been sealed shut. Or if there was some way, that the means to open them is not obvious. There are, unless you particularly want to investigate any of these rooms, none of them are where you're getting the pull from, though, Scamp.
Okay.
If not, you can continue heading down.
I don't know.
Have a quick peek in.
Yeah, should we have a quick look?
Okay, you stop at the first one you see
Mm-hmm.
and give the door a sort of a push. Give me a strength check, please.
Okay.
Can I help?
Yes, I'll let you make this with advantage.
Okay.
Because
I think I
all three
would,
of you just
like-
It's just straight strength.
straight strength. I mean, I guess, yeah, this would be athletics.
Athletics, okay. Right. That would be a 25.
Woo! Look at
That's
you.
what you need.
Jesus.
Without
Corzin, have
any-
I ever told you it's terrifying how strong you are for your size? Fucking hell.
Wow.
It's a halfling trait.
No, it's not.
You've never been in a halfling arm wrestling competition.
True.
You manage to push this bit of stone just wide enough for you to slip through. If there was some
Like
way...
just me or all of them?
Mostly you, I think.
easiest for you, but all of
Obviously,
you
yeah,
to
yeah.
some degree, yeah. You'd have to take that
I
for
get
quite
the
a lot.
impression me and Scamp try and help, but it's basically you.
Yeah. This is not hinged like a door, like the door was at in Slavitska's Isle. This is this is literally just a. This is not hinged. This is just like a stone door slab
Yeah.
that someone has put in the way. Either this is here to replace whatever door would have originally been here, or there was some other means of opening this door. Because seriously, you feel like you're on the verge of giving yourself a hernia trying to open that thing.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's the thing, it's like two kids trying to help their dad push a car.
Yeah, that's literally what it's like. We're both useless.
Peering inside, you find the room is dark within, but
Dancing lights.
putting it open, you can see there is a small, sort of like a personal chamber of sorts here. And in fact, you can see that there is a small... So there's no light source that you can see, but there is a small alcove in kind of like almost like a with like a hemispherical dip in it, where in just the right place where if you were to put like a lantern or something, it might light a good portion of the room. You get the feeling that would have been where whatever light fixture would have gone there.
I put a dancing light in it for fun.
The room is beautifully lit in this purple hue. Looking down, you can see there is a truly ancient, simple bed frame made out of fragmented preserved wood. It looks as if there was a bed here, but it broke from some force or other, maybe from overuse or just poor construction, who knows, long ago. And pieces of preserved fabric, as if this chamber has not been opened since its initial use. There are, upon stone shelves on the walls, ancient, what look to be truly ancient pottery jars, just vessels, drinking vessels, cups, which are glazed in brilliant sort of greens and reds. There is a now black looking simple, like almost like an amphora type sort of vase or urn with like two little rings to hold it by, but you can see the gleaming purplish yellow, because of the light, ring of where the very lip of it was covered in gold leaf. And looking at the black of it, you recognize this is ancient tarnished silver. So it would have been a silver and gold amphora, we'll call it for lack of a better description.
Okay.
There is again a fragmented, partially preserved, what looks like it might have been a simple cabinet with fragments of clothing, all of which are to some degree broken or disintegrated. Still some fabrics, degrees of the fabric preserved, dyed at one point a brilliant purple.
Okay. So this is like fairly valuable stuff.
Yeah, this looks to be like certainly, but like by the standard, by any reasonable standard, there's a fair amount there, and you can see depicted on sort of a fresco on the wall, like sort of again on relief on the wall, and in this case the paint would actually have survived. It's a little faded from just time and oxidation, so all of the colours are much browner and darker than they would be. But you can see there are slightly stylized geometric images of a number of people, and it's kind of symmetrical, divided along one side. On one side there are brown-skinned human, as far as you can tell, figures. There's no detailing on the ears, or anything that, so you don't know. They could potentially be they could be elves. You don't know, but yeah, definitely humanoid-looking figures with silver, short-cut silver hair, dressed in clothes of looks like white, yellow, and purple, raising their hands up. It's hard to tell whether it's like supplication, prayer, or jubilation towards a large, towards an image at the top, which appears to be, it appears to be a, again, kind of geometric diagrammatic representation of a grinning skull. On the far side of it, on the other side, in matching symmetry, are the same figures, still with silver hair, but their skin is completely painted black. And their clothes are the same as well. White, yellow, purple. And again, raised up in whether it's supplication or cheer or whatever, it's not really clear.
Well, those could be drow.
Could be.
And what if the other ones are like, wood elves or something? I mean, elves come in all skin tones. Could be a specific area.
Yeah.
Or it could be people. It could be humans.
People in general, but I've definitely never seen this grinning skull before.
I mean, it's a skull.
How much does it look like the one that Friend lives in?
Not particularly, actually.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Good check, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like as much as a skull does. Like, it's like,
Alright.
in a sense, it looks a bit like it, but it's not like a perfect facsimile of it. It's not done in the same style as the silvery skull that Friend lives in.
I'm going to ask it. Fighty, have you ever seen anything like this?
Gotta say, this is all pretty new to me.
I'd imagine if I
I've
was...
seen that die before. You don't get that die anymore. The
purple
snails.
one?
Yeah, the purple one. The snails that made it have all died out.
Hmm.
They've got a few jars of it hidden away in different places. That stuff is ridiculously expensive.
Huh.
But the snails that produce it died out about 1,000 or so years ago.
Oh,
Wow.
They were overfished. Sort of thing happens.
right. I'd imagine if I were an archaeologist, I'd have creamed my britches, but...
Yeah.
As far as anything useful in here goes, I'm not
Not
quite sure
really.
if there's...
We should probably keep going down.
I mean, that urn or whatever would probably be worth a few bob if we're in a looting mood, but there's
We're
only
more
so
in a
much we can
survival
carry.
mood at this point, Fighty.
How heavy is that urn? Like, how big is it?
It's about. I'm just trying to think for a comparison in terms of size. It's about the size of like a good solid. I want to say like a tea urn, like the size of a large. Right, it would be large enough to carry. When you like a good 2 liters of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so if you think of one of the size of one of those 2 liter bottles of water you get in the shops, it's big enough to carry those.
Is it worth taking this? What do we think? Can we be bothered?
If you give me like 10 minutes, I can make a little floating disc and I can just pile it up with shit.
True.
But that seems a bit.
I mean,
don't know.
I'm more worried. I'm worried we'd have to run.
Do we have a carrying problem with water currently? I don't think we do.
You've all had like canteens and so on, and you didn't lose them in the shipwreck. So
Fuck it. Let's
there's even like the remains of that barrel of water that you're currently hauling around in your backpacks.
Something tells me we should be able to run if we need to, so maybe we should leave it. That's my instinct.
I mean, is it fairly obvious that these amphoras are empty?
You haven't checked them.
I will go and see if there is anything in them.
Okay.
An amphora is just a small bottle, isn't it?
It's like a
a
clay
large jug.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
large
Think like,
jug.
Greek.
Okay, I wasn't
Yeah.
sure I had it right. I just wanted to check.
This one actually does have a tarnished silver stopper in it, so you need to pull the stopper out. Okay. Oh, yeah. That wine turned to vinegar a long time ago.
Okay.
10 gold if you drink it.
Bugger off.
I mean, Corzin, you've swallowed disgusting things for payment before, darling. I mean...
Yeah, and look how
Continue
well
our
that
trend.
turned out. And he puts it back. He's going to try one of the others, uncork that.
The others are actually not corked or filled with anything. They're just more like drinking vessels and like crockery, essentially.
Seeing vinegar. No, that wouldn't even be particularly useful as a disinfectant.
Not off-wine vinegar, no.
It'd sting like fuck as well.
It'd be awful. Oof.
More like an infectant. than a disinfectant.
You make a good point. Alright, no, leaving that there.
Alright, let's go.
Okay. You just you head out and not risking a hernia on any other doors for the moment. You continue down. These corridors are kind of wide enough for 2 of you to walk abreast. So I'd like to know who's going, as it were, who's at the front, who's at the back.
I think Corzin will actually. No.
I would like to walk in front of Scamp.
Yeah, no,
I
you've
would like
got
to
the
walk
best
at the
eyes.
front.
No.
Yeah. Alright, Corzin will bring up the rear.
Alright, cool.
Okay, Corzin and Fighter, you're at the rear.
Mm-hmm.
So you descend down 1, 2, 3 levels, just walking around this encircling sort of corridor before...
Who builds pyramids like this? Actually, that was in character. Like, who seriously builds pyramids like this?
Who builds fucking pyramids, you know?
I've never seen one before. I'm assuming they're not normal.
Nobody these days. Well, years and years ago they were popular, but they kind of fell out of fashion.
Yeah, it's fucking old.
I mean, again, Jason, correct me if I'm saying anything.
No, you're quite right. They're not in fashion for current Calcinian architecture.
Corzin, I've had a thought. You go in front of me, that way I can shoot over your head.
Alright. Fair
Makes
enough.
much more sense,
Means
doesn't it? Otherwise you just can't see.
As you go down the 4th set of steps, however, you notice one of the stone doors appears to have been cracked in at the side and forced open by some force at some point.
Okay, I'm going to have a look at that.
Okay, so the moment you do so, you see as you turn to look, you see there is scratched into the actual physical stone some sort of weird little glyph. Corzin, give me a wisdom save, please.
Oh,
Fucking hell.
I was about to say we should be careful, but never mind.
17.
Okay, you avert your eyes in time as it sort of begins to flicker with strange colours to you, and you pull your head away and shake it off. Even so, there's a couple of drops of blood run out of your nose as just this splitting headache hits you. You take 7.5 to 3 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
What the fuck happened? That looks like what I do. So looking at the blood in your nose.
Oh, freaking damn it.
What was it?
It's some kind of magical ward. Like when we were doing the heist.
Oh, right. Scamp, you... I mean, I
How
say
long
you
has that
disarmed
been
that
there?
one. That was not good last time. Can we just break it?
I mean, I can try and disarm it, I guess.
You sure?
No.
I feel like we should probably try it though, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Can we even vaguely tell... Look, okay, I'm going to ask this in character. Is there an upwards time limit on how long that spell can last?
I don't know what the spell is. I don't know. Does it look like it's part of the original work, or is it something that's been added?
Do you look at it to find out?
No. That seems like a terrible idea.
Not after the
is
last
it
time.
obvious that him looking at it is what did it?
None of you saw it flash, but you saw Corzin look at something, then turn his head away with blood splashing out his nose and going, ah. So none of you have at this point said that you've looked at where he looked. To you, Corzin, you saw a flash of light, but no one else saw a flash of light.
Okay.
Do these things work in mirrors?
I don't know.
I'm going to get my mirror out and have a look at it through the mirror.
Okay, peering through the mirror, you can see there is scratched into the stone in a very not part of the original design way, a curious looking glyph. It does not flash with light or cause you to have a mild aneurysm.
Alright, some sort of glyph.
Right.
What if we just
I'm
break
gonna
it?
shut my eyes and try and scratch it out.
Okay, give me an arcana
I'm
check.
going to look at it in the mirror and
please
tell
give
you where it
directions.
is
Okay,
and
yeah.
help you out sort of thing.
Okay.
No, that seems fair.
Okay, yeah, they're going to say that cancels out the disadvantage I was about to give you for trying to do this without looking at it. So,
Actually, I've got something that can help you. And Corzin ruffles around in his pack and pulls out the arrow.
Oh,
So
yeah.
scratch it out with that.
That should make it
Okay.
quicker.
okay. Yeah, give me an arcana check.
Ooh.
11.
If you can't scratch it out, you can destroy the surface it's on.
Okay. You do taking a wide scratch. You leave a good score mark in the ground. As it does so, however, you all see just a sort of flash of power discharge from it. Scamp, give me a reflex save, actually. Sorry, dex save, wrong edition.
Yeah.
That hardly ever happens
Wow,
anymore.
that's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to all you 4th edition fans.
Good, that was for me. But yeah, true.
Oh god, 7.
Oh no.
Oh,
Do we have
no.
to make dex saves as well?
No, Scamp was
Right.
the one closest enough. So as the blast of a discharge comes out of it, because 11 was not quite high enough to safely disarm that, you take 19 points of force damage as it blasts out, and it just leaves. Essentially, it's like a bolt of energy strikes out and leaves
why
a
was it
burn
Arcana?
across Scamp's
It could have been
chest.
so much better if it was Thieves' Tools.
I'm gonna go.
Oh well.
I'm gonna kick up my heel, go ding, healing word. That's shit. 7. So you get 7 points, my darling.
Thank you.
Cure wounds as well.
Oh, we could just have a sit down for half an hour.
No, we don't.
Strictly speaking, actually, yeah, having considered that, I will, in future, having realised that breaking it alone should work, you can use Thieves' Tools for that check, but that's already happened.
Okay.
Okay.
For future reference, what would is that with dexterity or intelligence? Or...
Intelligence, I think it would be for that.
Okay.
Okay.
That had been a 14. I don't think that would have been much better.
Regain 10 additional hit points.
Cool. I am fine again, just about.
Okay.
Awesome.
So, peering into the room,
Thank you.
That's okay.
you can see there is what appears to be another set of another sort of personal-looking chamber.
Mm-hmm.
This one, there's no sign of any like crockery or anything else in it, but several someones at one point dragged a series of packs and bedrolls up here, which are much more intact than the ones that were exposed to the elements outside. And in the purplish glow of the dancing lights, you can see where once multiple people rested here, made camp. Apparently, fortunately for you, they seem to have found somewhere else to go to the toilet. But you do, but yeah, it seems that there's a variety of old packs and camping supplies here.
Alright, well, somebody was here.
I'm gonna look through them for any potentially useful items.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
I mean, I'm guessing by when you say recent, as in relatively intact compared to the absolutely disintegrated stuff we were saying before. Investigation, that's 11.
11. Okay. You find... did you pick up the keg of powder, by the way?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we totally would have done.
So that has... that would have 50 rounds worth of powder in it,
Right, cool.
which is convenient.
I'll write it down.
As you find another 40
Oh, you've got it.
rounds of musket shot in this room.
40 rounds of musket
In
shot.
one of the,
Maybe you're right.
in an ammunition bag.
Let's write 45 each down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, no. This is rounds of shot. So with the powder,
Okay.
you've
Right,
got a
yeah.
total of 40 rounds of shot
Okay.
and powder, because you need both to fire a musket.
Would this
You're
fit
right,
my
40, let's
carbine?
just do that.
It will fit your carbine.
Right.
Yes. And because the Orsirian army insisted on standardization, it will conveniently also fit some of your flintlocks. So
Woo!
yeah, we're not going to worry about different gauges in this game, except as far as the difference between normal shot and blunderbuss shot
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
concerned. So you do find another. You find another 10 packets of cram.
Well, we're not starving, but gods.
I will take the cram, just in case.
You find another you find another. There's actually another bas relief here, although this one instead seems to be just an image of the city as it was outside. You don't really gain much more, although there is. This time it includes pictures of, again, silver-headed humanoids just walking about their daily business. It seems it's like a street view. Someone's decided they wanted that on their wall.
When you say silver-headed, is it like their entire heads are silver?
No, just their hair.
Is it like a helmet or is it like hair?
It looks to be hair. It's kind of hard to tell because of the style that they've used, but it seems to just be like hair.
Why have they all got the same fucking colour hair?
So
Weird.
odd.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Drow have like 2 hair colours, but still 2, you know? Like, unusual for them to all be literally the same.
Yes. And all the same hairstyle as well.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
You also find several pages of a torn journal.
Ooh, how exciting.
Yes.
Oh shit, guys, it's more of that man's journal. I don't know why I'm saying man, it could be fucking anyone, we don't know if they were a man. Yeah, it's the same dates. I think it actually follows on. So, yeah, last time we had 8th of Falling Fruits, we've now got 10th of Falling Fruit. Shall I read this
Yeah.
to us?
Yes.
Let's read it out, we can all just read it together. Okay, so 10th of Falling Fruits, 1790, so same year, same writing. The ruins of a city. Not just any city, but judging from the size of the ring of towers, one on par with modern Tyre. Only the upper levels of the buildings remain, but here and there portions of the old city still survive. Pottery, long tarnished bronze tools, copper racks for hanging cloth, so like all the shit that we found. Anything of wood or fabric is only partly preserved, but longer lasting materials survive. One of the women in the company found a bronze goblet lined with gold, the latter material gleaming as the day it was made once we scrubbed away the grime from years of rain and dirt. Of more immediate concern are the dead. I have seen no signs of tombs or burial sites and no clue of the original inhabitants, but we have snuck past the walking dead on multiple occasions, including one vast column of ancient goblins led by a mammoth-riding giant beating a circular road. Well, that's still going 7 years later. That's quite scary. There is a fort here, seemingly guarded by a cohort of ancient Tyrian soldiers. I don't have much direct experience in necromancy, my specialisation being illusionism. This is why I volunteered for this mission originally. But although these entities resemble zombies, they're apparently possessed of far more autonomy and even residual skills from life than any undead raised by modern necromancers. They do not seem to be sapient, or even cognizant of their situation, attacking only when approached. We will have to stay clear of them. Well, I mean, that sounds like everything's the same.
Yeah.
7 years later. Makes you wonder how long it's been going on. Okay, so this is the next day. That was the 10th of Falling Fruits. This is the 11th of Falling Fruits. Bastard ancient soldiers ambushed our camp. We got caught by a band of Tyrians who set upon us with swords. Enough shot brought them down, but we lost 4 of the company, and the noise brought the attention of the Guardian, a huge bronze statue. Oh, well, that's the Guardian from your map, anyway, maybe. Maybe, we hope. We hope there's not another fucking Guardian. It started stabbing its spear into the camp, trying to root us out, and we had no choice but to flee. I lost the majority of my diary in the attack, and all I have left now are these last few blank pages. I will have to try and recover it when we leave. For now, we have fled into the pyramid at the city centre. Okay, so makes sense. So 2 days later, 13th of Falling Fruits, morale is shaky. At least the Guardian makes no effort to enter the pyramid. The Tyrian patrols continue to menace the exterior, although they frequently make attacks upon the Guardian, who returns their ire. Well, I guess that's what we saw before then, isn't it? I expected no success upon their part, but it has become apparent that their weapons are forged as a steel... DM, help me. As a steel alloy. You've written allow. There's a typo in that. Yeah, that made no sense. Okay, cool. I'm going to correct. I was like, am I stupid?
Yeah, no, okay.
You're
Dungeon
stupid.
Master failure there.
Red pen, see me.
Yeah, see me later. Anyway,
This man's handwriting is terrible.
I expected no success upon their part, but it has become apparent that their weapons are forged as a steel alloy with that rarest of materials, adamantine. Thus the Guardian is forced to retreat after a time. Yet the Guardian can and does slay some of the soldiers, rendering them broken. By sheer attrition over millennia, why are they still here?
Good question.
A fair question indeed. That alone would be reason to make us want to leave, but supplies are low, and these outer rooms of the pyramid are blocked by heavy stone doors in many places, tomb-like and needing much work to break open. Worse still, we have encountered traps. Okay, good to know there are traps. Traps are here?
We've already encountered traps ourselves.
Well, there's one trap, yeah. The curious thing is that these traps are magical in nature, of a style and design familiar to me as being practiced in the modern day. Okay, so they didn't put this here. This was here before them. This feels strange. I would expect arcane traps either far more primitive or beyond what I can do, but being of an equivalent nature? Question mark. They're confused. The only reason we might want to stay bluntly is the treasure. Many of the artifacts in this place have survived the ravages of time, untouched by the virtue of being sealed away in stone, and we have found relics surviving in silver, bronze, and gold, as well as many pieces with gemstones such as onyx, lapis lazuli, and cornelian. If we can ever get out of here, we will be rich. And that's all there is. All the rest of it's a bit fucked up.
Just out of character, when we discovered the first part of this journal, was there a body?
The only body you found was the carved up and kind of like broken into multiple pieces
Diced
body of the Tyrian soldier.
Right, okay.
There are no bodies in this room.
I mean, there's no reason they might not have gone down further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not the end of a diary,
It was enough
you know?
to... Well, if he was a Tyrian soldier, then almost certainly he's not an orc.
No.
Right, yeah, so, fine.
Right.
Why did he leave these bits behind?
Maybe something got them.
I
down
can
there?
think of two possibilities. One, they were left in a hurry, or they weren't needed anymore.
I don't like either of those things.
Neither do I.
Or it's a side quest in a video game.
You open it and it starts reading itself out as you walk around.
At this point, Corzin, you hear just like a soft treading of like maybe leather or cloth from down the hallway.
Alright, I turn around immediately and
What is it?
look in that direction.
Give me a perception check.
I heard something.
Okay.
9.
You just see for a moment the silhouette, a humanoid silhouette, pass along the. You can just see where the stair, where you go down, the corridor goes and turns and goes down a set of stairs. You just see a humanoid silhouette for a moment in the just very faint glimmer of the purple light.
Sorts out.
Okay. It seems to pass on. You just hear this sort of sound.
There's something down thither.
Scamp, is that what's pulling you? Did you feel it move?
You can still feel the pull coming from. It's below, but now kind of pointing towards the center of the pyramid. You would guess maybe 1 or 2 stories down.
No, it's whatever's at the middle of this place.
Right.
But now we know that
We're
the
not
dead
alone.
are in here too. So maybe quiet and careful.
Yeah. I'm going to knock an arrow.
Give me your stealth checks, please.
Looking for traps as we go.
And investigation.
Oh no.
So that my stealth is a 15.
My stealth is a 13.
14.
Oh, investigation is a natural 20.
Nice.
Okay.
Investigation. is a 15.
Okay. So, Corzin and Celestia will be the ones who are the most perceptive. As you're making your way forwards, you quickly see, you make your way quickly and carefully towards towards where the staircase is. But Celestia, you notice it first, Corzin a moment later. There is in another of the rooms has been broken into. You see, actually, along this corridor, several of the rooms have been broken open and just cleared. They seem to have been looted. But one of them has a curiously large sort of stone block just near the entryway. And twigging this, you look forward and you see at one point the texture, because the floor is made of these white stone blocks, the texture of a stone block is slightly too perfect. And I'm kind of taking just the edge of your rapier, you touch and you see that it goes through the floor where that point is.
Ah, we're at Hogwarts. It's a trick step. That's fun. I point this out. Don't step on that. It's not real.
Illusion.
Journal guy liked illusions. Must have been very good if it's lasted this long, unless he's still here.
7 years.
7 years
Or
is a
it was
long
him.
time. I mean, to live. And there's still cram.
There's always cram!
But not 7 years of cram, you know?
Corzin says, cram is not much of a life.
However,
Said there were traps here already. We don't know. They
True.
didn't just.
making your way to the top of the stairs, however, you peer down, you can see there are a group of 4 desiccated, mummified, they're not as ancient looking figures. 2 orcs, 2 human, in faded, slightly kind of threadbare red coats. 2 of them have muskets. 2 of them are dragging heavy sacks, and you can see from where the sacks have spilled slightly, one is full of just roots, just like vegetable roots of the types you might find in the woods. Another seems to be full of pine seeds, just like pine nuts from pine cones.
Okay.
And they are just dragging them along this corridor leading downwards. And actually from this point you can see, for once, the corridor actually stretches on the other way past the stairs, rather than just this loop round and round. You can just faintly see the glimmers of light of one of the entrances that was from the ground level.
Oh, okay.
It looks as if they've come in through that entrance and are dragging these bags of vegetable matter deeper into the pyramid.
They haven't spotted us then.
They do not seem to have spotted you. You do see, as they walk along, as they continue marching along the corridor, there's a point where they stop, all step to the side and avoid a particular patch of floor before continuing onwards.
Mark that. Let's follow them at a distance.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to make a practice of poking every step with my rapier as we go down, just gently to see if it's real.
Careful you don't blunt that.
Yeah, you have a point.
Or set off a pressure pad.
No. True.
Okay. You will continue following this undead patrol.
Obviously, we go past the thing that they went past. We don't
Avoiding
step on it.
the possible trick step and continuing deeper down into the bowels of the pyramid. And that's where we'll pick up after the break. We'll rejoin you all after these no doubt important messages. And now for a word from our friends at Modified Roll.
Hey guys, do you want to hear some new and veteran-ish players as they dive into a completely homebrew world created by our talented DM Liam? Then join us for an old-school, authentic D&D experience as we focus on collaborative storytelling in an open world, allowing us, as players, to cause as much anxiety as possible for our DM. Catch us on most podcast platforms, visit our website, and come chat to us on social media. Modified Rule. Come and join the adventure.
Hello, and welcome to sunny, perpetually overcast Midmere. Have you considered the benefits of serfdom? You enjoy protection, being tied to the land, and never being able to run free to the cities, where you would be able to do things like liking, rating, subscribing to Flintlocks and Fireballs, and leaving reviews on iTunes. Stay where you are! And welcome back. So, you follow carefully behind the 4 red-coated soldiers, dragging their sacks down one layer, down past a set of steps, and then deeper along a corridor, a little deeper in. There's a moment where they pause. The two with muskets grab hold of a stone door and just pull it slightly to the side. This one you can see is grooves in the ground from repeated reuse, opening and closing, which seems to have made it a little easier to do before the 4 of them enter, dragging the sacks with them. In front of the door, there is a large, there is a sort of open sort of chamber type area, and you can see the remains of another camp. This one looks different. The blankets, the packs here have all long since been ransacked and removed. But there is a mark on the wall in some sort of just scratched into the wall in a curious, twisted, thorny sort of script. Scamp, you recognise this as the infernal word for burn.
Anyone read that? I can't.
Corzin just does he just see that it's a sigil?
Yeah, you just see a sigil.
And he just says, "Oh, here we fucking go."
It says burn.
Right, well, let's see if we can avoid getting burned then.
Not touch it. Does it look magic?
Does it look similar to the one we saw previously?
The one you saw previously, no, that looked a bit different. It was more like an arcane design. This appears to just be, based on the fact that you are looking at it and your brain isn't hurting, it just appears to be a single word.
I mean, this is going to sound a bit batshit, but it could be an instruction. Burn.
It's a wall.
Could set off something.
I could try it. Do you want to stay? Should we stand really far back?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's give it a go.
Of all 3 of us here, you're the least... Well, 4 of us. I do apologise.
That's alright. I'm pretty small.
Corzin just sort of looks at him.
He cracks you a grin and winks.
Alright, Corzin does the whole I'm watching you kind
Celestia
of.
stifles a giggle behind her hand in the corner.
He says, well, of all of us here, you're the least flammable.
Yep.
True. Are we going to get the attention of these undead
Well, what are they doing?
guys?
They have passed beyond this chamber behind the door, which is still ajar, and you can just make out that they have continued shuffling along a corridor deeper in.
Alright.
Okay, well, they're not moving very fast. I'm sure we could catch up if we tried. So let's give them a little bit of space. And I don't have to do this close up. So let's all take a bit of a step back.
Yeah, I go to the other end of the room.
Okay, you all step to the other end of the room and scan.
And I'll firebolt it, I guess.
You blast a bit of the wall nearby, and just above where it says burn, a series of glyphs in Infernal appear around the point where you burn it in a sort of glowing red script. You can see a fragment of a sentence written there.
Told you we should fucking burn it, didn't I?
I'll chuck a couple more firebolts
Okay.
and try and light up the whole sentence.
You light up the whole phrase. We found treasure here, security as well, a fine place for the Horde. Be wary. I left some behind to guard it. Avoid looking at the glyphs. Head to the throne. I left it there for you. That's all it says.
How much of this do you tell us?
All of it. Yeah. Robbie wouldn't. Scamp would. The difference between rephrasing it, so yeah. I really want to just rephrase left it at the throne and leave out the for you. Scamp wouldn't.
Okay.
I don't
mean-
like that bit.
Is that like for you, or for you guys in, random traveller who's come here?
Random traveller who
Left
speaks
what?
Infernal.
I guess we find out.
Have you ever met anyone who speaks Infernal who wasn't born with it?
What do I know about Infernal?
Well,
Give me
Maybe more than Corzin, I'd
a
imagine, but
history check.
wasn't it just another language that you learn?
I never learnt that I know.
16.
You know that Infernal is the language of tieflings.
Mm-hmm.
It is written and read primarily by tieflings in the Underdark. It is also considered... You're vaguely aware of some of the religious significance of it. It is a common language amongst some of the deities or powerful entities that would be deemed demonic or infernal by the Regency. Some of which are in the Aradnean pantheon, essentially just minor deities, not playing second fiddle to the spider gods. You aren't aware of it being an innate language, probably a learned one, but you've never really asked any tieflings, hey, were you just born with the ability to read this stuff?
I mean, I'd always assumed you learned it, but all I know is it's
From
tiefling language. Some
well,
most
hold
tieflings
on
speak
a
it.
moment. Hold on. You learnt how to read.
Ish.
All right. Are you saying that you can read and speak another language that somebody didn't teach you?
I don't remember being taught. I don't know if that's the same thing.
I think you'd remember being taught. I remember learning how to read. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, not all of it, but like I remember lessons. There were
I
lessons.
can
remember it
remember a point in
happening.
my life where I could not read, and then a point in my life where I then could. And there was a bit in the
Same
middle
though,
where it
isn't
was
it?
difficult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You remember the process. Learning how to read takes a long time. It takes years. Like,
Well, I remember learning to read Jovan. I don't remember learning to speak it, I don't think.
Well, you just imitate everyone.
what, speaking's a
you.
bit earlier though, isn't it? Reading's later.
Like,
But I don't understand how you could read a language without remembering learning it. That's fucking weird. Maybe it's a
I
tiefling thing.
remember a lot of things.
out of character, Jason, does Halfling have a text? Or is it purely spoken?
It's a weird one. It's a bit like Irish. I think there was originally like a Gaelic Irish alphabet. I'm not sure, but it essentially uses the English alphabet with accents and so on
I see,
to indicate it. So the modern halfling dialect / language
would use
uses the
Jovan characters, right.
Jovan alphabet.
Fine. Okay.
That makes sense.
Apologies to any Irish listeners, by the way. If I got anything wrong there, this is not something I'm very well versed in.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to tell us about it.
Yeah,
if you want
please
to.
do.
Like,
Please
we'd genuinely like to know. That sounds really interesting.
But I've
Do
never,
tweet us, by all means.
I've never seen any original Gaelic writing, so I assume it has died out functionally. And most words I've seen in Irish have been written with, Roman text.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird. So it was definitely meant for a tiefling. Whether it was meant for you is another thing.
A tiefling who can make magic. That doesn't necessarily mean me, which is, I hope it doesn't, because that's really weird.
Or Scamp, not to dwell on this, but if you can inherently understand and speak this language, do you remember learning how to speak?
No.
Very few people actually do.
But reading it, that's weird. I mean, okay, Scamp, without being a twat, you find it quite hard to read, don't you?
No.
Well, you can read, but
Yes,
it's a bit difficult, isn't it?
Maybe.
A little bit.
Sometimes.
Is it easier to read tiefling language than it is to read Jovan?
Yes. I
I
don't
mean,
need
that's-
to use my finger.
I mean, that's fucking weird, isn't it?
Well, I can speak Halfling better than I can speak Jovan, but that's just because I grew up speaking it.
Yeah, but like if you can't really read that well, but somehow you can read this thing that you don't remember learning,
That is odd, I
Yeah.
will grant you. Although, do you remember what your first word was?
Well, no, but we're not talking speaking, are we? We're talking reading.
Okay, the two are kind of connected in this case, but look, we're getting off track here.
Yeah, let's
Let's
see what's on the throne.
let's continue. If you see any other words that are in Infernal Scamp, let us know.
Okay.
You proceed up to the ajar door. Looking down, you can see there's a corridor beyond. All of the stone doors on either side of the corridor, which proceeds forward and then turns left at the end, have been broken open. Again, looking like they've been broken.
Via the same manner?
Yeah, like someone's taken a crowbar to them, basically.
Alright. Let's have a quick
Have a rummage.
look.
As you continue to make your way in,
Listening really carefully for those guys coming
Oh
back.
god, yeah.
sure, I'd like a perception check then, please.
Alright.
10.
21. Look at me rolling a perception check that isn't shit. Never happens. I've never rolled worse on a character for perception than I have with Celestia.
Really?
Like, my god. This always like perception 2. That's
I
terrible.
hate having no wisdom. It's awful. I've always played high wisdom characters.
Yeah, me too before this.
Ugh.
Okay. Celestia, as you're carefully proceeding forwards, there's no sign of the soldiers that went through. They've clearly reached the end of the corridor and turned off. But as you're making your way forwards, you're about 2 out of 8 doors down before something. You just get a kind of a sensation in your gut and freeze for a moment, and you realise you can just see reflected from the purple light of your orbs a glint of steel in one of the doorways off to about halfway along the corridor, and peering, you can just make out the outline of a blade. Peering along, you realise you can just see the outline of some sort of just like a dull gleam of metal on the opposite side as well.
So, let me just get this straight in my head. there are 2 doors on either side, and
Yes.
they both have a glint of like a knife.
Yeah, so there's doors on either side of this corridor going forwards until it reaches the end, and about halfway through there are 2 doors, one opposite each other, both
Okay.
of whom which seem to you see metal.
Okay, I go to this. Stop! There's like knives in those 2 doors.
Like people holding knives or
Don't
trap
know.
knives?
Can just see metal.
You
Alright.
need to because you're keeping the dancing lights close to you. You need to move the lights closer to.
I'm going to move one light closer.
Flickering it up next to them, you can see that it reveals the silhouettes of a couple of figures, and having moved the light forward past them, a pair of mummified-looking human figures in Tyrian armour with shields and short swords step out into the corridor. Can I have everyone roll initiative, please?
Ooh, 17.
14.
7.
Oh god. What do I want to do?
I'm at the back.
Who is 17?
Scamp.
Okay, so Scamp was 15, Celestia is 14, Corzin was 7. Okay, so with that being the case, let me make sure I've got this open. What I do, okay. Scamp, you go first. The pair of legionaries are 30 feet away from you. At the front, I believe, is the same marching order as before. So it's Corzin and Scamp at the front, and Celestia and Fighty behind.
Sorry, how far away from me?
They are 30 feet from you, Scamp.
Well, okay. I will chuck a chromatic orb at one of them and take a step back. I'm going to tides it because I just want to see what works on these things.
All right. What flavour of power are you using against it?
I'm going to attempt... These ones are mummified and dry, aren't they?
Yeah, dried and mummified.
So let's try fire, see how fire goes. Ooh, that's not great. 18.
18 to hit. That
Yeah.
does hit.
Thank
So
you,
the one on the
Tides of
left.
Chaos. Okay. Ooh, not terrible, not great. 14 fire damage.
14 fire damage. Okay. As you manage to catch one of the unarmoured parts, the orb smashes into its exposed grey flesh and burns merrily. About as well as you would expect it to burn just ordinary flesh. This doesn't seem to, although this flesh is sort of mummified and dried and old, it's not covered in the highly flammable sort of oils and mummifying agents that would give a classical mummy that
Flammability.
Sort of flammability. Did you say it was 14 points damage?
Yeah.
14, thank you. Yeah. Okay. It takes a moment to sort of pat out the flames as best it can before they can continue to consume it.
I'll step away.
Yeah.
A bit.
Okay. Stepping back, which allows Fighty to move to the fore. Fighty will actually go before Corzin. Make a note of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, with a 7, that's, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess it'd be fighter than me then. Cool.
Yeah. So Celestia, you're next.
Oh, lovely.
Legionnaires haven't gone yet.
Oh, cool. So
There's 2
I
of them,
will
Yeah.
scratch my nails along a nearby wall, and I will say, "Why are you even bothering to fight us? You're already dead." And I will cast Dissonant Whispers at 2nd level.
Nice.
So that is a Wisdom save on one of them, obviously.
Give me a moment, just checking something about them.
Yeah, it's psychic damage if that's what you need to know.
That is what I'm checking about them.
Yeah. Figure it's worth trying stuff to see what works.
Quite.
Yeah, some things don't work against undead, but it says in the spell usually.
Yeah.
Like my Phantasmal Force doesn't, which I did not read for ages.
Oh, that's the worst.
Okay, okay, so, sorry, what's the... So DC is wisdom based, right?
Yeah. And it is a second level one.
Okay, that was a failure. So it's the same one that Scamp injured, or the other one?
Same one that Scamp
Cool.
injured.
All
Might as
right.
well do it all on one.
Roll damage.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
That might be like the best that I've rolled on that. So 12, 17, 20.
Nice.
The Legionnaire sort of tilts its head for a moment, then drops its shield, takes the gladius in both hands, and proceeds to jam it into its own chest, thrusting upwards, and then to the side, splitting its torso in half and cutting its own head off before slumping to the ground.
Ooh, hardcore
Fuckity
seppuku.
bye.
Please tell me you did that.
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
That would be me.
Okay, Fighty is going to be like, alright, let's see what we can do about that. He's going to charge forward. He's not raging, because this seems like, maybe it doesn't require a full-on rage, and he's...
That's it's one thing.
It's only one thing. He's where he's got a certain amount of vim to him.
Fighty is absolutely the sort of person who at some point in their life has said, and meant it, all together or one at a time, it's all the same to me.
Oh, yeah. Definitely
On at
said
least
that.
3 occasions. Okay, first attack. He's still got the droog. It's been tucked into his belt, so he unhooks it, swipes once with the droog. No such luck. Swipes again with the droog. That was a natural 3 and a natural 2.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Still got the
Fighty.
knuckle dusters, however. Reaches into his pocket, gets those, and is going to... Fuck's sake, Fighty.
Oh, man.
No! This time he punches out and it clangs against the shield. Fucking hell.
Are they fancy knuckle dusters?
They're fairly fancy knuckle dusters.
I would
They're-
imagine so. I just wanted
Like
to get an
encrusted
image.
knuckle dusters, maybe.
No, they're just like they're made of brass, but each one has like a bear head.
Cool.
Sculpted on the knuckle.
Awesome.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, that's Fighty's go. Fighty was not as effective as he thought he would be, or I thought he would be. Corzin.
Oh.
Okay. Corzin is going to move forward, sort of dance around to the opposite side. So if Fighty's in front of the Legionnaire there, he's going to shimmy around the side so he's behind it. Whether or not he has to dance around the side or go between its legs doesn't matter. He's going to go round to the back of it and attempt to cut the thing's hamstrings.
Yeah, you've got the halfling ability, which lets you just do that. So
Yep.
go for it.
And then jab up into its
do your
ribcage.
attacks.
Okay, so first attack.
Hey.
That would be a 23.
That hits. Roll damage.
Fucking hope so. Jesus.
That's a 5.
Okay.
Second attack. That's 11. No. It's a 13.
That does not hit. The first attack, you slice up and you catch the back of one hamstring. It slumps a little bit. As you go for the second one with the other,
It hits the back of the cuirass.
It just hits the cuirass, just like aimed a bit too far up. You still got a third attack with your offhand, though.
Yep.
As your bonus action.
Okay, that's a dirty 20.
That does hit. Roll damage.
6 slashing.
Okay, you slash again at the others. It feels like it stumbles from it, then recovers. It's like you've nicked both hamstrings, but this thing is made of pretty sturdy stuff. Mostly due to the, advanced stage in mummification.
This thing doesn't really feel pain in the same way that a living thing would.
that sort of hit would have debilitated something that was capable of feeling pain.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's more the physical damage.
Yeah.
That's the concern. With that in mind, it is going to turns around and stabs down at you with the gladius.
Okay. I'm going to try and parry.
Okay, that's a 20.
That'll hit.
Dirty 20, but still. Okay, so that hits and does a straight up Okay. Where's my note on what this thing does? I've actually managed to lose that. There we go. And it does. It's actually not too bad. It's only 7 points of stabbing damage.
Okay.
As it relies on the shield. Fortunately, you took down its companions. It doesn't get advantage from the gang up bonus.
Phalanx fighters.
Yeah, the legionary. That's actually all it can do on this
Hang
occasion.
on. Okay, just as a matter of verification, are we able to tell what race these things would have been in life?
Yeah. Give me a medicine check because it's a bit shriveled and ancient.
That would be a 18.
This would have been human.
Okay, fine.
You can even tell that it would have had black hair.
Right. Okay. Just a thought, because Corzin would perhaps know that hobgoblins, even today, with firearms and whatnot, would favour phalanx tactics.
You would also know. I'm going to say this given previous history checks that the Tyrian legions also favoured not phalanx tactics but close quarter, combined units.
I don't actually know what that means. Phalanx tactics.
So the phalanx is, you remember when you get a whole bunch of people with a long spear and a shield, they lock shields, put the spears together.
Oh right, yeah. I actually know what that is. Yeah, I just hadn't heard it called phalanx.
It's like. Roman sort of shield wall, pokey over the top.
Yeah, Roman wall of death.
Yeah.
I've just heard it called the wall of death. I've not heard it called.
I've
not heard it called phalanx. I've just heard it called wall of death.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But yes, that's it's not quite as effective as if it had its companion next to it. Nevertheless, the legionary attacks and is just that. He's not actually got any other actions on this occasion. So back up to Scamp. I will say, though, that he will take a bonus action to cling, 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 ring his sword against his shield.
Bollocks. Balls. Big balls.
Huge sweaty balls.
Huge sweaty hairy balls.
Okay, Scamp, you're up.
Maturity levels have not gone up on this podcast since we started.
We're drinking. It's fine.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm so jealous.
I'm
going to chuck a firebolt at him.
Okay, your attack.
Ooh, 26.
That
Nice.
hits. Roll damage.
7.
It
26,
strikes the Horhace, superheating it at one point, and you just smell
Nice.
sizzling flesh from beyond.
Oh.
Okay, the Celestia. The
Really
Celestia.
old state,
Celestia.
I'm imagining.
The Celestia. Don't inflate her ego. You'll
The Celestia Stardust.
Yes, nice to meet you. What do I want to do to him? How bad's he looking?
About on par with how the first legionary looked after Scamp, threw a ball of flame into him. So, like, it's holding together, but not not out and out dead, not close to death.
Okay.
Try him one.
I'm going to say, all your friends are dead, they're not coming, and I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers at level 2.
Okay.
Nice.
They probably are coming, but fuck it.
Okay, who makes that save?
Shit. Oh, well, never mind. Okay. It's another 4d6. Again, good roll. It's going well. So that is 10, 15, 16.
16. Okay, halved to 8.
Not quite as good as last time, but still not bad. And having seen that he's tried to call friends,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at the rest of them, flick my hair back, go, let's take on a fucking army of the undead, and I'm gonna get a big rainbow flash coming out my hair, rainbow throw happens, and you all get 5 temporary hit points, and you can move if you want to, but probably not, mostly just 5 temporary hit points.
Okay.
Yeah, you can move up to your movement immediately, without any attacks of opportunity, if you wish to.
I don't think Corzin will on this occasion.
Okay.
Ooh, mistyped that, and now I have 50 temporary hit points.
Whoa!
Hello.
You have more temporary hit points than your current max
Actual
hit points.
hit points. Yeah.
Yes.
You have over double Celestia's hit points in temporary hit points. She's a fucking effective bard, apparently.
Hey, Celestia at level 20.
Hey. Probably.
Okay, so the fighty is going to try and be a little bit more effective on this occasion. He is!
Yay!
Oh, Fighty gets 5 temporary hit points as
Fighty
well.
gets 5 temporary hit points as well. Cool, I'll make a note.
Just because it's everyone I pick within 60 feet, so.
Awesome. Okay, first Droog hit. Okay, Fighty does 9 points of damage.
Nice.
Whack! And actually, you've done enough damage with the... Yeah, when you hit it, when you spoke those words, it sort of shook its head for a moment and stumbled forwards, but a little unsteadily. And actually stumbles kind of and trips forward down onto one knee, lowering its head enough that Fighty, doing the kind of the little sort of Popeye spin, the Droog, spins in a circle, whack, and knocks
Vicious
its head
uppercut.
clean off. And it flies off to one side, bouncing against the wall.
Is that the first time you've punched somebody's head off? Please say yes. He's having to think.
Yes.
Good. I'm glad that was an enjoyable experience for you.
Clarified that. Excellent.
Is he lying?
Insight check.
Oh, fuck, inside check. Yes.
Oh, 22. That's fucking insight check. I never rolled.
30-20.
Sorry, 21. I can't
You
count.
feel confident that this is the first time Fighty has punched, well, technically hit with the Droog, has bludgeoned someone's head off.
Take that.
What do I get with a 10?
Seems legit.
Okay.
Are there any more undead people coming
Give me a
after he's
perception
rung his
check.
bell? That's a 16.
Can I?
Okay. Yes.
It's not higher than that.
Okay. You hear... You
Is it a
do
3?
hear-
No, it was a 8. But
You do hear a degree of clattering and clanking in the distance, as if figures are moving into position.
From which direction?
Deeper in... beyond where the corridor takes the L-shaped turn.
Okay.
Off, and you can't see further down it.
alright, Corzin is
there
going
are
to take a
people down
moment and he's going to walk over to Fighty and he's going to hand him one of his pistols and say, I know this isn't your style, but you're going to need this at some point.
Alright.
Do we really want to be loud down here? What if there's fucking loads of them?
I'd rather be loud than dead.
Oh,
I suppose
quick
he's already
point, by
been
the
loud,
way.
actually, hasn't he?
I forgot to mention it, but as both legionnaires are broken, you see, and just Celestia and Corzin see two vaguely humanoid-looking shadowy figures step up out of the bodies and then become wispy and insubstantial and flow directly up through the ceiling.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Weird.
Well, Corzin still has the vial of undead beetles and things. Actually, he's going to take that out and look at it. Just, you know,
Looks the same as before.
they're still wriggling about.
Yep, still wriggling about.
Okay. What's the back?
Oh, I think there's a fucking load of them around that corner.
Wait. What direction did the spirits travel in?
Pretty much directly up.
What direction did they travel in before?
They travel towards something.
Towards the centre.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Do you think that fucking flame, like, eats spirits?
Yeah.
Attracts them, certainly.
Yeah. I mean, ours weren't
looking at
attracted.
our spirits right now, what they're doing.
They are flitting around. Just they don't like
Agitated.
Yeah, they're agitated.
Well,
Okay.
mine wanted fucking away from that cold flame before.
Well, we're going further down, so...
Yeah, it should be fine, but I mean, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely is.
By the way, I think there's a load of them around that corner, just so that we're aware.
Alright. Hold on to that pistol, Fighty.
I would like to go ahead, please.
Okay, so Celestia is up ahead. So Celestia is going ahead. Positional order for the rest of you. broadly speaking.
If Celestia is leading, is
Again,
it
these
wide
corridors
enough
are
to...
wide enough for two abreast.
Right, I will walk abreast with her because...
I've just got something I might want to run ahead and do.
Okay,
If there's a group of them.
if the opportunity happens, then you will run up to be alongside Celestia, so I'll put you slightly behind. Scamp and Fighty at the back then.
I'll go directly behind Corzin so I can shoot over his head.
Cool.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
We're almost in height order.
Celestia, you
How
run
tall
to-
is Fighty, actually?
I think he's 3'2".
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to see if there's a group
Same
of them
height as
around that
Molly.
corner.
Okay.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Natural 20.
Oh, nice.
Okay. That's okay. So you see up ahead there is a the corridor stretches on a little bit with another couple of opened rooms before it reaches a sort of little antechamber type area, and you can see there is a heavy sort of another of these heavy stone doors, slightly ajar at the very end of it. There is what looks like in the centre, surrounding it are more of these broken open rooms. In the centre of it, you can see there is what looks like another camp. This one has the centre, like one part of it, there seem to have been a lot of just fabrics, a lot of these red coats and similar, dragged up to form almost like a cushion pile of sorts of bags and bedrolls and such. And there are various, and there are signs of there having been a campfire here at one point. You can actually see there's a very faint glimmer of light coming from behind the huge stone door. But in the open kind of stone doors, the ones that have been broken aside, you can see that there are concealed figures. Near the way you would be coming in, there you can just make out the silhouettes of two more of these human legionnaires. Concealed in a couple of the side chambers, you can see there are two of those halfling auxilia, from the looks of it, with the staves, and again concealed in sort of sniping positions. Nearest the big stone door, there are a pair of those orcish redcoats, muskets readied.
How close to each other are they?
I'm going to say that because of the way that they're all stretched apart, each door is about 10 foot from the next one. So
they're all like 10 foot apart.
Yeah, and they're all spread out. So the first,
It's a kill box.
How many
I guess
are in a
that's-
20-foot radius?
I was doing a 15-foot cube. I'm doing exactly the same thing in my head.
you could get any two of them within a 15-foot cube, and I want to say pretty much any three of them within a 20-foot radius. Just
Worth
about.
my last third level, really.
You know, if you can get them a little bit more
I'm gonna
crowded, yeah.
As I guess I've seen this, because natural 20 perception and the others haven't,
Yeah.
I relay this naturally. And then I might just get straight in there. I think I'd like to go ahead and try and get the two big fucking orcs with the gun. I'm gonna flip my guitar around to my front, do a big power chord down the neck, and do a... what level should I do? Second level Thunderwave.
Nice.
Just double check. Does Thunderwave emanate from you?
I was thought Thunderwave was out from you, but I
Yeah.
could be wrong.
Out in a 15-foot cube from me.
Okay, so they are at the orcs are at the far end. You will, in order to get within 15
I would have to
feet
run
of them,
over.
You
Sorry,
will need
I'd
to run right
got
into
that.
the middle of the kill box.
I'd actually got that the wrong way around in my head.
Cool. So the
so I'm
Legionnaires, the
gonna
one
do-
closest. to
Which
the
are the
entrance.
ones nearest?
The ones nearest you are the two Legionnaires.
The halfling ones.
No, the
halfling
ones.
auxiliary is
auxiliary-
behind that.
I'm gonna
I'll
call
do
the-
the 2 humans then.
Yeah, the halflings
Because
are
I'm
called
not
auxiliaries
stupid enough to
for
run all the way across.
clarification.
Sorry, I had that backwards.
Yeah,
I thought the
that's
2
fine.
orcs were near our door as opposed
No,
to the
2
other one.
orcs are furthest away because they've got the muskets.
Halflings
I
with
will,
stones,
thanks,
man. It's the most deadliest combination.
How many could I get in a... It was just 3, isn't it? Any 3. There's nowhere I could get...
Any 3, yeah. So they are kind of organised so that if you imagine a circle going redcoat, auxiliary, legionnaire, auxiliary, redcoat, and then back to the first redcoat.
Yeah. So it's a con save for Thunderwave, by the way.
Okay, so you run up to there, and you release your Thunderwave. Bearing in mind they are also prepared, something is going to happen simultaneously with that. So first Legionnaire makes its con save. Second one, what's your save DC? 16?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just close enough. I'm actually going to have to check the actual stats on that one. Give me a moment. Does make it just. It's got plus 2 save. So that was a 15, but becomes 17.
It's 11 damage, so not
Half
wonderful.
to 5.
The Neapolitan dice rolled the best, though.
Hey.
Thank you, dice.
Hey. Okay.
The other 2 were shit.
So as that's happening, then as you step forward, the chamber shakes a little. Some stone dust falls from the ceiling in places, and you see the 2 legionnaires stagger as they prepare to emerge from their hiding place. All of these guys had ready actions.
Fair.
So the 2 legionnaires hurl their javelins at you.
I thought it was pilum.
Sorry, it's pila plural.
Oh yeah, of course.
Or,
Fucking
I don't know
Latin.
if it's plural or pila. It's not really said.
Don't know Latin.
Yeah.
Didn't go to private school.
No, this is merely my own research. But yeah, pilus is singular, pilum is plural.
Oh,
Regardless,
Yeah.
they miss. The first one misses because that was a 10, and the second one was an 11. So both of them, the javelins stream past you and
I
bang
stylishly
towards.
dodged them.
Stylishly. The halflings, however,
You're doing like a shimmy, aren't you?
Yeah.
Shimmy, shimmy.
Yeah.
first halfling, second. God, the halflings are surprisingly not on form today.
Okay.
The highest there was a 12. There's 2 bullets zip past, and you are just sort of matrixing this.
Yes, I am.
Oh yeah. Hell yes.
Okay, 2 orcs time. And that lasts. First orc. Again, you dodge past. This lead shot hits the wall, making a hell of a sort of cracking noise. And it lasts all the way up until the last one, which was a natural 20. So that's going to be interesting.
It's one of those moments when I was doing so well.
You've gone from the Matrix to the Matrix Reloaded.
I feel like I turned round to Corzin after dodging after dodging 5 of these bullets. Like, did you fucking see that? And then it hits me in the back of my head.
Oh!
Yeah, and you
And Corzin would go,
right in the back
you shouldn't have done that.
as
You
you
should
take-
not have done that.
So yeah, that would be 20 points of
Oh,
concussive
fuck.
damage.
Oh shit. Well, I'm still up, but not good.
So you're shot right in the back, and everyone roll initiative, please.
Okay.
Dear.
It's a new initiative, I'm afraid.
God.
12.
12.
18.
12 Scamp, 12 Corzin, 18 Celestia, Fighty. Okay, Fighty gets an 11 actually, which isn't too bad.
Decent.
Let's roll for these separately. Fucking hell. And last lot of them. Okay. Alright. The auxiliaries go first. Celestia, you are still kind of stood in the middle of this corridor out of cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's all they're going to do. You are not they're not going to wait. They're just going to take the attacks. So the auxiliaries. Okay, so the first auxiliary attack, that's a dirty 20. Second one is a 12. So the first one hits.
So down.
And they do halfling sling damage.
Is it more than 3?
Let's find out. It is in fact exactly 3.
Well, I'm down.
Oh, that was the minimum they could roll. So, as you're turning around, you get shot in the back, and then a lead bullet cracks you in the side of the skull, and you just
Sack of potatoes
slump to the
down.
ground.
Yeah, so it's, did you see that? Bang! Bang! Oh.
fucking idiot bard. Did you even fucking see that? Down.
Celestia, you're up next. Roll a death saving throw.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, God. Oh, well, that's a success, so that's something.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay. The rest of you are hiding behind the corner.
Can't get over that.
Did you see that? Fucking useless.
So there's
Classic bard.
So Corzin and Fighty.
You're going to have to draw this at some
Scamp is
point.
there.
Yes.
So the 2 legionnaires are going to run forward so that they're flanking each other. And they... they're guarding each other's sides. And both of them are going to attack, one against Corzin, one against Fighty.
Alright.
Because they're using legionary tactics, they get to take their attacks with advantage. So that's an 18 against Corzin.
Yep, that hits.
22 against Fighty. That definitely hits Fighty. Fighty's
Ouch.
Ouchie.
There's a lot of these people.
Oh yeah. So, Corzin, you luck out and take 3 points of damage.
Okay.
Nice.
Fighty is less fortunate and takes 6 because he's not started raging yet. Although that only takes him down to 41 out of 42 hit points because temporary hit points. Okay.
Gotta love barbarians.
Oh yeah.
I adore
I've got to love that. It's a mantle of inspiration.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes
It's amazing what 5 temporary hit points can actually mean
Oh,
at
totally.
certain points. Like,
Totally.
it really
Hang
does
on,
make
actually, that's a point. Do you also...
No.
Okay, fine.
Barding affects everybody else. I can't see myself, can I? What if I looked in a mirror and did it?
Okay, the red
It probably wouldn't
coats
work.
are going to move out of
point.
cover and into position where they can actually, up towards the entryway so that they can actually see you guys where you're being attacked right now.
Does that put them within a 20-foot radius sphere of anyone else?
It puts them within a 20-foot radius. Based on where they have to be, actually, yes. In order to, because of the way that the corner works, they have to be within 20 foot of the legionnaires.
Would that also hit my friends?
If you targeted it just right, you could hit the legionnaires and the redcoats without hitting Corzin and Fighty.
Okay.
So yeah, redcoat and so they're going to go next. So redcoat 1 is going for Corzin because we're focusing in. Yeah, that's a dirty 20. Only a 10 for Fighty against Fighty, so they dodge. That said, Corzin, you take 12 points of percussive damage as you are shot.
Oh, I'm shot by one of the... Okay,
yeah,
right.
by one of the redcoats. Scamp, you're next.
Well, now there's 4 of them in
Yes.
and they're really nasty. I will throw a fireball.
Okay, let's do some dex saves. So,
Fireball, Jesus.
yeah.
Hello.
Because then I can hit 4 of them.
Yeah.
I love
true.
that one of us has
Failed.
Fireball. That seems
Failed.
only fair in this
It does.
podcast.
Well, I
Fails.
kind of had to.
We have both
Absolutely.
flintlocks
What's your save,
and
DC?
fireballs within the party
DC
now.
Dude.
16.
My
Okay, all
God.
foil.
All I'd have to do is give Scamp
Okay.
one of my guns, and Scamp would have both flintlocks and fireballs.
So good.
That is 33.
Fit,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Okay, all 4 of them are instantly vaporized.
I
God, I
rolled
love
really
you.
well. I rolled 4 5s.
Hell,
On
fireball.
D6s, and a 4 and a 6 and a kind of other thing.
Yeah, they are just shattered, blasting apart.
Oh.
Roll D100, by the way. Because you're at your 3rd level spells now.
Yes, I am.
This has been the
80.
time.
No, not 80. 8. Shit.
8. Well,
What
that's
is
a very
8?
different result to 80.
Oh yeah, no, I read the wrong
It's happened.
dice.
It's
What?
finally
Oh, shit.
happened.
What?
Oh fuck.
As
I've
one
killed everyone.
fireball explodes in front of the
shit.
Shit,
legionnaires,
no!
Fuck.
the second erupts.
Celestia's not within 20 feet of me. is she?
No, Celestia is the only person who's not within 20 feet
Thank
of you.
fuck, because I'm down.
Oh fuck!
The fireball erupts and blasts.
It's on a shovel.
Shit, no!
So, everyone except Celestia, who's outside the blast radius, roll some
Thank
dex saves.
God, I'm outside the blast radius.
Yeah,
'cause I'm on
Celestia
0.
fortunately ran up just close enough to the Legionnaires to be outside the 20-foot blast radius from the first fireball.
Fail.
Oh, Corzin failed.
I rolled a 10.
Oh shit.
Fighty succeeded.
I don't think you can actually die though, looking at your hit points.
I could go down.
You could go down, but I don't think you can die, which is
28.
genuinely a risk if she
28
does one
points of
near me.
damage. Okay, do you roll a dex save for yourself? By the way?
Yes, I rolled an 18.
Okay, so you take 14 points of damage. Corzin takes...
I'm also resistant, so I take 7.
You take 7 points of damage. Corzin, you take 28 points of fire damage.
Jesus, are you down?
Let's see.
Fighty did not have a chance to rage yet, so he takes 14. As opposed
It's
to
fire damage anyway, isn't it?
Fighty is
So-
immune to all, is resistant to all damage except psychic when
'cause
raging.
He's a special type of bug.
Hang on,
Oh.
guys.
Hell.
Still drops
I'm
down
not
to
rolling those
27.
D100s again tonight.
I mean, that had to
Sitting-
happen at some point. Like,
Oh.
we've been fearful of that for ages.
Yeah, it's been 6 months we've been waiting for that, for a 7 or an 8 to get
Happy
rolled.
6 months, guys.
Happy
I
New
took
Year,
7
guys!
damage.
Listeners.
Fucking
It
happened.
feels so unfair that I took so little damage.
No!
I am on 1 hit point.
You are still up.
Yes.
Fucking hell, you're a mess, but you're still
Yeah,
up.
you've been blasted against the wall. Everything, you're covered in soot. You are smoking.
Jesus.
Like there's a moment where we think you're
Set off
dead,
a
and then your eyes open, and there's just like these two
Yeah.
white, slightly bloodshot balls in the middle of your blackened face. Fucking hell.
Okay, Corzin as a result was like goes. Ow! Ow!
Corzin, you're up next. Unless the Scamp wants to take any bonus actions.
Okay.
There's nothing I can usefully do with a bonus.
Okay.
Scamp has done quite enough on this.
Corzin, you're up next.
What's left?
So there's the 2 halfling auxiliaries who are in the hiding places deeper in. They're not. You won't be able to reach them with one movement. But they are.
Fuck it all. No, Corzin is gonna drop to his knees from a crouching position. He's going to load his carbine and take a shot at both of them.
Okay, you only get one shot because carbine's a loading weapon. But go
Actually, no. Would I be able to use my carbine and a pistol?
Yes, because they are both loaded.
I still have one pistol.
You do, but the thing about the thing about the double wielding feat.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
One-handed weapons. It takes 2 hands to fire a carbine.
All
So
right.
you fired 2 pistol shots.
Yeah, but I've given one of my pistols to fight you.
True.
Okay. No, it's fine. I'd have given him one of the muskets if he wouldn't have had the same problem that I would have had with a musket. It's too fucking big.
Yeah.
No, can you imagine? Like a musket is 5 feet.
Yeah, that you like as a small character, you automatically fire with disadvantage using a musket. That's why
Jesus.
that's why the halfling
Even
carbine
if-
is invented.
Even if he hit, the kickback from a musket would blow Corzin off his feet.
Jesus, it would. You'd be like in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what he's going to do is he's going to take he's going to take a carbine shot, ramming it down shakily, aiming it at this halfling.
With his eyebrows on fire.
Yeah, patting out his eyebrows. It says, "You're behind the times."
Okay, give me an attack roll.
Okay, that's gonna be a big fat 10.
No. With halfling-like grace and speed, it ducks to one side as the round smacks into the wall.
That would have been
behind
so
it.
good if you'd hit it.
Yeah.
Last
But
roll.
no. I'm gonna use my inspiration and re-roll that.
Oh yeah, you can add
My inspiration from about 3
3
episodes
fucking
ago.
episodes ago. You still have that. You can add a
You
D6.
can't re-roll it. You can
add
add
a D6,
All right, I'll add a D6.
which might be enough.
Ah, no, shit.
What was that?
A 1.
That's a grand total then of
11.
11.
Yeah, no, that still doesn't hit, sadly. Okay, so Fighty, do you have anything you can do as a bonus action?
I can't get to them within.
You can't get to them, and you can't fire the gun because of the double-handed rules. So no. Do you want to move forward at all, or are you happy where you are?
Hang on. No. That still affects us all. All right. After he's established that he's missed, he's going, "Oh, fucking Regent, damn it!" And he's gonna shoulder the carbine again and start limping forwards, swords out.
Okay, you get as far as Celestia.
Yeah.
Actually,
it's not a bonus action.
Yeah, not a bonus action because you don't have healing word. You've not cure wounds. Fighty's going to go next. Fighty looks at the pistol for a moment. Looks at his array of knives. Yeah, you know what? And runs past you, tosses you the pistol as he goes, and because he's got 35 feet of movement.
Of course he fucking does.
He can get within 10 feet.
That's scary for a person that tiny.
Yeah. He can get within.
Considering Celestia has 30,
10 feet of one of the auxilia, we'll say the one on the left, and proceeds to whip 3 knives from his belt.
Dagger.
One after the other.
Oh, cool.
Actually no, 2 knives. Because he's going. Because although the fight is kind of potentially nearly over, he is going to rage. He's got 2 of these in a day, and he doesn't want any more damage. So fuck it. Let's make these reckless as well. So that was a 4 and a 2.
Oh.
So nope for the first one. Second one. Okay, the second one was a natural 20.
Nice.
So that's it.
Bash his head in.
It's a natural 20 on a D4 roll. So that was a total of 8 points of damage to it. It's something. Okay, so the knife at least does stick solidly into its neck, and if nothing else, at least seems to give it some difficulty turning its head, just from how deeply wedged in it is. Okay, Fighty is at least raging now and therefore resistant to damage. That makes it the auxiliaries go. One auxilia is going to. Let's see, where's Corzin? Okay. Under the circumstances, then they're going to try and give themselves an advantage. Some advantages. They might not need to. Fuck it. One auxiliary is going to go for Corzin then. Oh, that was an 18, and then it rolled onto a 4.
Oh!
The lead bullet smashes into the wall and does not put you out for the count. The other one is going to draw its sax and move into close combat with Fighty. With advantage, because Fighty is reckless.
Can't believe how much 2 of them are fucking us right now.
Halflings, never underestimate them.
Yeah. Speaking of which, that did hit. That would have done 7.5 to 3 damage. Does 7.5 to 3 damage to Fighty, who is still looking a bit burnt up from the from the fireball. Unexpected twin fireball. Celestia, roll another death save.
Fail.
Ooh.
I've got 1 success, 1 fail. So I'm not,
Okay.
death's door, but not doing
Legionnaires are
incredibly.
dead. Redcoats are dead. Scamp.
How far from Celestia am I?
You are just 1 movement away, so you can get up to.
Okay, I will move up to Celestia and use the statue.
Yeah. You rattle off
I
the
haven't used it
Sawagan
today,
prayer.
have I?
No, you
No.
haven't.
Well, that is 8.
Love you. It's wonderful.
Celestia, you feel just the sort of burning, itching sensation of this particular brand of healing from the Sawagan magic, and you just feel pop as the lead shot from a bolt pops out of your back
Oh.
from where it was
Ow.
embedded.
Thank you. Ow.
Yeah. Corzin,
I'll
unless
leave it at that.
yeah, Corzin next then.
Right, okay. How far away from these halflings am I now?
You are 1 movement away from either of the 2 halflings. You may take your pick. There's one engaged in combat with Fighty. There is one which is not.
I've got 2 pistols now, fuck it.
Yeah.
He's gonna say, "You're an idiot. That was a warning shot, and I don't fire as many as I used to."
Hey, that might hit.
Okay, that's a 22 for the first one.
That hits! It's done by...
I really wanted it to hit after that.
Okay, that's a 6 percussive for the
Nice.
first one. And for the second, that's a 9. No, that's not going to hit.
That one hits the wall, but you do at least manage to solidly dent the simple chest plate of the first
Alright,
auxilia.
with my movement then, I am going to move within melee range with both of them.
They're on opposite sides of the room. You've got choice of one or the other.
Alright, well, the one that I hit, I will move into melee
Okay,
range
that's the one with Fighty. So
Yeah.
Who's now looking fairly
I
injured.
feel like your hand's like shaking because you're on 1 hit point, that's why you can't hit anything.
Fighty, who is now close enough, is going to keep one knife
see
out
that,
and
but-
draw the druid. Come on then, if you think you want a piece of that! So, continuing
Well,
reckless
Fighty.
attacks.
Yep.
That's an 18. So that one does... Okay, so 8 points of damage from the first Droog hit. Second Droog hit is 9 points, so 17 points of damage, and then the knife. Okay, so he thwacks it once across the head, thwacks it twice across the head, so the head is bent with a crack one way, bent with a crack another way, and then grabs it by the scalp, reaches with the knife, and severs the last bit of the spinal cord
Nice.
before tossing it off to one side. Now see, that's normally how I take heads off!
Whatever works for you, mate.
That was
Whatever
horrifying.
works for you.
Okay,
Ew.
the remaining auxilia does not get a sneak attack bonus because it no longer has an ally within 5 feet of you. Huzzah!
Oh, they're all rogues, bastards.
They're halflings. It is still going to attack.
I don't get that.
It's still going to attack Corzin.
You're not a rogue.
No.
Nope, that's a 12. You duck to the side.
Hang on, is it... What is he trying to do? Is he...
He's trying to just hit you with the sling staff. with the sling itself, so yeah, you just duck.
Alright.
So, Celestia, you're up!
And indeed, you are up.
I'm actually up, yeah. I am going to look at the remaining one and go, just fucking die, you bastard! And I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers at 2nd level.
Wow.
Okay. Succeeds in its wisdom save.
Fuck's sake. Oh, decent, actually. Okay, so 10... that's 18. Obviously half to
Okay,
9.
half to 9. Still, though, it rams its head into the wall twice before it seems to manage to get control of itself and stop this act of obviously self-destructive behaviour.
I'm going to turn to Scamp and go, Scamp, kill the fucker, and I'm going to give you inspiration, which is a D8 now because I'm level 5.
Yay!
Woo, level 5.
Scamp, you do feel inspired by the urgency of the moment, and it's your go next because the Legionnaires and the Redcoats are dead.
For future reference, though, if inspiration, as you are ruling it for this campaign,
this is DM inspiration is D6.
Yeah.
It's always
Bard
D6.
inspiration
Always D6.
is
Bard inspiration
it goes
levels
up every
up.
few levels.
Oh, okay.
I don't level up.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Leveling up the DM is terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. Okay.
Sorry, Scamp, what are you doing?
This thing's taken quite a bit of damage, hasn't it?
A fair bit.
I'll just firebolt it and hope for the best.
Okay.
Oh, that'll hit. That's 23.
That does hit. Roll damage.
Ooh, 12.
Okay, you blast it in the head. One of its eye sockets is now on fire, burning merrily away, like it's gazing at you with some sort of flaming, baleful glare. Corzin.
Okay. Corzin is going to close to melee range with it, and it is going to make some melee attacks. Okay, that's 23.
That hits.
Alright. For 9 slashing damage.
Ooh,
Nice.
nice. That hits. Not enough to kill it, but you
Alright.
slash down.
Second
you see
one.
it buckle under the attack.
That's 17 to
That
hit.
hits. Roll damage.
That's 7 slashing damage.
Okay. How would you care to finish this particular?
Okay. Corzin is going to go up to it, and I'm imagining this thing is, it's maybe half a head taller than he is.
Yeah.
And he is just walking brazenly up to this thing, or like half limping.
Yeah.
But
it
it's
tilts
like,
its head, eye flaming,
yeah.
readying another shot in its sling staff.
Okay, he cuts one arm off, slices it, stabs it in the into the midsection, and says, "I have had enough of you," and takes his head off with the last slash.
Yes. Fit.
The remains slump to the ground. You exhale. The sweat cools on your body, and you look around to see that your opponents have fallen. Some heavily crisped.
Fuck's sake.
I'm sorry.
What happened? I
The weird
was
thing
out.
happened again.
What do you mean the weird thing happened?
Where stuff happens and I don't mean to. Only it was with a big old ball of fire.
For fuck's sake!
I'm sorry.
It's okay, you didn't mean to. I mean, you look like shit. You need some healing. Tentacles in, obviously.
Okay.
I gotta say, that was certainly effective on them. I just wish it wasn't as effective on us.
Ding! Healing word on Corzin. Let me just. roll
Fighty's
the
looking a bit
fucking
roughed up as well.
D4.
Is there anywhere we can just have to sit down?
That's 9 that you
Okay.
get. Yeah, can we have a rest for a bit? I mean, I'm a bit fucked myself, I'll be honest.
I mean, there's a lot of comfy things here.
Bit of a break.
Glances over at the ominous huge door.
Let's get out of the main corridor. If any of them patrols come back, I don't want to be in their line of sight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm going to smoke some opium on this short rest if we take
Okay.
one.
You pull back. I am going to say, what? Since you are all keeping keeping a bit of a watch while you do, so I'd like everyone to give me a perception check.
Good.
While you're resting.
10.
Natural 1. That was a fuck on the fuck dice.
11.
Okay. As far as you can tell, nothing approaches you during the course of this rest.
As far as we can tell.
Okay.
You,
Can I smoke some opium?
You
Is that
can
okay?
smoke some opium.
Fabulous.
you do take some time to rest, which means I
Can Corzin use a dose from his healer's kit and regain the maximum amount of...
Yes, and you can actually apply your healer's bonus to the others if you want as well by spending doses from your healer's kit. The healer's kit bonus we agreed was it lets you add, I think, a d6 on top.
Oh, okay, right. So it's like, it's the maximum amount, which for me would be 10 plus a d6. So, okay.
Does using a healer's kit allow you to restore the maximum amount?
I think that was how it worked. It's like if we're taking like the maximum amount of hit points I could possibly regain on a short rest, that would be 13.
Right, because okay, no, that's that. I don't think that's that. I don't think I approved that role in this campaign. The rule I approved was you can spend 1 dose per character you want to do this to while you're taking a short rest to allow them to heal an extra d6.
All right, well, I have an extra 1 hit point on what I would have got.
On top of what you get by spending.
Right, so I will roll a d10.
Yeah, so you don't automatically get the max.
Okay, that's plus my constitution, though.
Yes.
Right, so that's
modifier.
A grand total of 7.
Still something.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
can we take a second for the fact that I rolled 7 on 3d8 on my hit dice?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
For fuck's sake!
I
don't want to use all of them up either in case we need them, so I'm
gonna roll some.
And I rolled a 1 on my fucking opium d6 as well. I've rolled bullshit for hit points in this break.
What does he need? He needs 18. Okay, Fighty's back up to full after spending 3 hit dice. So he's at least alright.
I'm a bit low on magic.
I'm not doing amazingly. I'm okay. I've got a couple of small things and a couple of big things. Not many middling things.
Got some medium. That's it.
Can Corzin take the time during this short rest to cast Cure Wounds on himself?
Yes.
I think he probably fucking should, to be honest, at this point.
Whoop-de-doo, that's another 7, okay.
We're all rolling really badly on hit points, aren't we?
Yeah. D20's alright, but...
I'm not sure I want to face whatever we're about to face.
Yeah,
Should we sleep? Can we afford to sleep? Should we take a proper rest? Because, I mean, we are a bit fucked, aren't we?
Well, I've got to say, I feel maybe like a short rest, like a bit of a sit down and tend into ourselves like this is one thing, but actually trying to sleep in this place seems a bit risky, given we know that there's at least a couple of those Walking Dead redcoats that are still around, even assuming those 2 that were in the ambush.
Actually, yeah, can I try and loot them for any supplies?
You can and do. Can I ask you for an investigation check then, please?
13.
Okay, so you loot. First of all, between the 2 redcoats, you find a pair. You find 2 muskets if you want them, but you also acquire a total of 17 combined, like shot and powder.
Right.
So you got a bit more shot and powder. 17 more rounds, essentially. You find about 100 lead shot, just ordinary lead shot on the auxilia, and a pair of sling staves. Which are basically just they kind of also like halfling slings. They do d6 damage at reasonable range. They're inferior to firearms.
Would Corzin have any experience with these?
Yeah, they're basically they're like a racial weapon for halflings.
Right.
You would have learned to use one at the fair.
Right. Okay. He'll take one then.
Okay. Take a sling staff. I'll do some stats for that later. But they're comparable to a short bow, essentially.
It'll be decent enough for Corzin to have a ranged weapon that is not loud.
Yeah. Worth having just in case.
And they do d6 plus dex damage.
Maybe I should take one too.
Okay. You are not proficient in the use of this.
Are they not slings?
They're slings. You know what? Yeah, fuck it. If you
I'm proficient in slings.
yeah, if you're proficient in slings, then you'll have proficiency in this. So yeah, you both get a pair of antique sling staves.
Cool.
A highly sought after collector's item. To the right people. And I guess 50 bullets each in 2 neat little packs.
He picks the sling up because by the region I must have been. He turns to Scamp. Younger than you last time I used one of these.
We have no idea how long ago that was.
I told you how old I am.
Yes,
we
don't know
have
how
no
old
idea
Scamp
how old
is.
I am.
We don't know how old Scamp is, do we?
I suppose not to any level of accuracy, no.
So you also search the room. And you find a couple of interesting things. One thing you find is a jug, a stoppered clay jug, which, removing the lid, appears to be full of, for want of a better term, pine-scented moonshine.
Okay.
Wow. I'm taking that.
It's
Like-
tree
I'm
alcohol.
just
Having
gonna
that.
sniff that. No. You know there's 2 different types of alcohol, right?
No.
Alright. There's the alcohol that you drink, and there's the alcohol that you clean sub and stains with.
I have some very important stains to clean.
He half sort of face, well, alright. Unless you're somebody like Fighty, you drink one and you leave the other one well alone in case you go blind.
I have some very important stains to clean. I take the drug of tree moonshine.
Yeah, okay.
If one of those stains is your ability to see things... Oh, God. Regent, damn it.
You now have a jug of pine moonshine.
Yes. Specifically pine, okay.
You have fucking methylated spirit is what you have.
Yes, I fucking do.
I don't know if it's pine nut moonshine, but yeah. Okay, so you have pine moonshine.
Even the wankers in Jimothy don't drink that stuff.
Maybe they should. It might be amazing. How would you know? You haven't tried it.
Do you try any?
I try a little tiny bit.
Roll a constitution.
Tiny
save.
Oh,
bit.
yeah.
Oh, shit. I so would, though. Oh, that would be a 9.
You swallow the thought and then you immediately throw it back up. It's fucking gut rot. It's what it is. You might want to dilute that before you drink anymore.
Oh, aren't they
Okay.
hairy legs? You might have a point there.
Okay, no, he'll
Fucking
go
hell.
immediately to Fighty and go, talk some sense into her for Regent's sake.
You're quite right. Now, what you want to do is you want to get some nice, clean spring water, and you want to cut that at a 1-to-2 ratio before you drink it.
Okay. Does this mean we can get pissed together on moonshine later?
Probably, yes.
Excellent, let's do that. Fabulous.
Okay, Corzin is going to facepalm, like... I hope that came up on the waveform.
You also find a couple of other small stoppered items, but these are not moonshiners. They don't seem to be using the local pottery the way that one was. Instead, you find a half-empty rack of small glass vials.
Okay.
Interesting. Do they have shit in them?
They
Yeah.
do. So there are... Okay, you rolled well. So there are 8 vials... there's 7 vials in the rack, of which 4 are a distinctly familiar amber-coloured liquid.
Amber-coloured.
Healing potions?
They look like either healing potions or small tots of brandy. It's not really clear.
Okay, he's going to uncork one and just sniff it.
Oh yeah, no, it's got that distinctive herbal sort of medicinal brandy scent. These are 4 healing potions.
He passes one to Celestia immediately and says, "Get that down, you." Doctor's orders.
Well, I mean, the doctor's ordered me to, so I have to. So, how much is that?
Just a healing potion, so 2d4 plus 2.
Well, I forget what the healing potions are because I hardly ever have
He's
them.
going to down one himself.
Okay.
As you fucking should, mate.
There is one which appears to be filled
2d4
with...
plus what, sorry?
2.
Thank you.
There is one which appears to be filled
Perfect.
with a kind of dull... Let's roll for the other one as well.
Actually back up to full. How exciting.
Oh, wow. Okay, so there are all 3 of the remaining ones are filled with some sort of dull orangey substance. 2 of them are a viscous sort of dull orange liquid,
Okay.
and one of them appears to be a dull orange jelly.
Anyone know what that is?
Give
Can
me
I have a
11
look?
minutes and I can tell you.
We can have 11 minutes.
Okay.
I cast Identify.
Of course, you do have that. 11 minutes later.
Really slowly from my colouring book.
Yeah, really slowly take out your colouring book.
I still love that is
Love
your
it so
arcane
much.
focus.
Makes
It's
me
brilliant.
happy.
I need to check if Identify will work on one of those, because it might not. Because that's...
Magic imbued object, it says. So I don't know. I thought it was worth
I'm no longer
trying.
bloody.
2 of them... Oh, I need to make a very quick description on that.
I'm actually fine. I've
Yeah.
genuinely got full hit points now.
Yeah, I guess it would work on this, wouldn't it? So, although is that stuff technically magical? Well, yeah, no, it's preserved magic, so it would work on purely alchemical as opposed to chemical items, because there is a distinction. So the two quite, the two...
I have to cast it again if I want to do a different object, because it's choose one object.
Okay, well, do you go for the ones which are the runny liquid, or the ones which are the jelly? Or the
Let's
one which
have
is
the
jelly?
runny liquid, because there's 2 of them.
Okay, you do the runny liquid after 11 minutes. You come to the conclusion. You get a sense that this is this is a handy little liquid which, shortly after being exposed to air, will burst into flames and stick to things and continue burning them. You have 2 vials of alchemist's fire.
Oh, we've seen
Someone
Alchemist
else
Fire
have
before.
these.
Wouldn't we know what it was?
Usually it's
Corzin might.
clearly labelled.
Oh, okay.
So it's whether you can necessarily tell it just by looking is a different thing. But
Can I have one of those?
You can have them both. I don't think I should hold these.
Okay, Corzin, do you want any?
Well, I'll take one, yeah.
Okay, you have one.
forwarding on another 11 minutes, however, you do see that the other one is the other orangey thing is it's a potion which is again alchemical. I mean, they all are, and you get the feeling that it seems to have it has preserved within it the ability to exhale flame.
Ooh.
This is a potion of fire breath.
Nice.
Once you get enough information from the spell to broadly know this, after drinking the potion, which is, it's a bonus action, you can use a bonus action. Establish that you can use a bonus action to exhale fire at a single target within 30 feet of you. Has to make a DC 13 Dex save or take 4d6 damage halved on a successful save.
Oh, so cool.
This effect ends when you exhale the fire 3 times or after an hour has passed.
I don't think I can be trusted with fire. Who wants to breathe fire?
I'd fucking love to breathe fire.
You'd look really good breathing fire.
I
You
would
have
look
the-
really fucking good breathing fire, just saying.
Combine that with the alchemist stuff, you've got something that's very potent there.
Excellent.
Oh boy. You also find a small case with 6 bombs.
Ah!
Basically just, clay grenades. Clay canister
Is that how
grenades.
Corzin reacts to seeing bombs? Just go, ah!
Well, he had 2 left, so yeah.
Now
I
you
think
have
those are
8.
yours, darling.
Stats for those I previously stated. And you also find a handful of sheets of paper upon which had been scrawled increasingly more erratic lines of text.
Ooh.
Oh, hello.
Were they on one of the bodies?
No, this was actually tucked into the side of the really comfy seat.
Important clarification, though.
Yeah?
Celestia picks up the probably slightly scorched bit of paper, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
She says, oh shit, the next bit of that diary, guys. Okay, so I'm going to read it. So, the 15th of Falling Fruits. I knew there was something up about these traps. They look modern because they are modern. Forcing open doors, we found a camp belonging to another expedition from recent years, judging by the Perivale 1770 model muskets they left behind. You probably know what that is. I don't.
The Pierreville 1770 has been standard issue for for a number of places, particularly Seoul, but even the Osirians have occasionally used it.
Mm-hmm.
Though these days, the Blue Bess has largely replaced it as the musket of choice.
Right.
It seems they entered by another route, knocking through their own doors and leaving this site as base camp. We have found still dry powder, fresh lead shot compatible with our own surviving guns, and even a barrel of fresh water and a keg of wine. Lucky buggers obviously got to the wine before we got here.
Mm-hmm.
Food is less available, and we will need to harvest pine nuts and other vegetables from the forest if we are to stretch out our rations, as I trust no animal meat in this place. Obviously figured out everything was dead. Fair enough. It seems this expedition made their way to the centre of the pyramid, leaving traps in their wake to cover their retreat after they left. Anyone else got deja vu reading this? Because this is literally what's happening to us. There's another expedition, they've left traps. This is getting a bit weird. Oh well. There is some sort of unusual written symbol on the wall, not magical but not in a language I understand. I will work on untrapping the path. Next day. 16th of Falling Fruits. The previous expedition left more than just traps. A short distance into the trapped corridors we were ambushed by dead members of the prior expedition, still wearing the tattered remnants of Osirian redcoats.
Still having the deja vu here.
I know, it's a bit fucking weird. They obviously didn't manage to kill them though. Or maybe they did and they came back. Ugh. Chills there, not good. Did another company come here once? We overpowered and destroyed them at the loss of several more men, but I have ordered the bodies of our dead decapitated before burial, since we have no priest to do the rites. Next day, 17th Falling Fruits. We found the central chamber, what seems to be a throne room with a raised gilded seat and a monstrous statue behind. Light stones illuminate the chamber, which is a relief given the fact that the candles are running out. The previous expedition have piled a great heap of looted gold and silver here, as well as various valuable objects such as silks and spices and even a supply of potions. There was a chest as well upon the throne. I found something. One of the men has discovered a door behind the throne room. Next day, 18th Falling Fruits. Do not open the door. 6 days later, 24th of Falling Fruits. Food is a need. There are comforts here, but work must be done to retrieve sustenance. Some of the company are unhappy staying, but there is more to find here. There is safety here. Since I found it, it is easier to persuade people. You just have to find the right words, the right strings to pull.
As you're getting to these later notes, the handwriting is starting to get a little bit sloppier, more slovenly.
3rd of first colours, so, more than a week later. There are other members of the other expeditions still here. There are those we forgot to decapitate when we fled. But where others see threats, I see opportunities. It has shown me how to turn these tools to our use. Doesn't say a day on this one. Full ripeness. So, the next month?
Yeah.
So the next month, don't know what date. Things are finally getting comfortable now. They respond to my will easily now. There was friction at first, but the dead serve as well as the living in this place. Less mouths to feed where food is limited, but just as many hands together. I barely need to lift a finger, and I have so much here. I tire of writing. I think I will sit upon my throne a while. Was it the thing in the chest that made whoever this is so persuasive?
Lets them control the dead.
I want to know what's behind that door. Never says, just says do not open the door.
Which door specifically are they
The door
referring?
behind the throne room.
Oh,
We haven't been to the throne room yet.
yeah.
This isn't that long ago.
Okay, so
They
in the
could
throne
still be
room,
there.
It was 7 years ago.
7 years.
And if they've got the dead bringing them food, there's no reason they can't still be there.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No.
Also, we should cut the heads off everything in here.
We should.
If
You're
not
quite right.
Anything that
You have sufficiently destroyed everything here to drop it, I will say,
Right, yeah.
by
Whoops.
this point,
Yeah.
in the process of taking them down.
It's like, you can cut the zombie's head off, but functionally speaking, if the zombie doesn't have enough torso left, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter how much of a head it has.
Yes.
if you explode it with a big ball of fire.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Okay, so information we have. There's a throne room, a raised gilded seat, and a monstrous statue behind. It's illuminated by light stones. This person, whoever they were, found something. There was a chest upon the throne. I found something. That's what it says. There's a door behind the throne room. Don't open the door. And something that they found made it easier to persuade people, and they can control the dead by the sounds of things.
And the last thing they wrote was that they were going back to their throne.
I think I will sit upon my throne a while.
I'm guessing they're still there.
They might not have moved. They haven't come back for their journal.
And we saw the dead bringing food in.
We did.
So, whatever is down there is still alive in the broadest sense of the term.
I think it's safest to assume there's something sat on that throne waiting for us.
Alright, Scamp, is that what you're being drawn towards?
It's the right direction.
But if they're really
the pull is
persuasive-
directly ahead.
If they're really persuasive, what if they're persuading you? Although it said you just have to find the right words. Also says the right strings to pull. You said it was a pull.
Yeah. They're not a tiefling, we know that.
Yeah, they can't be. They couldn't read the writing that you can read.
Would Corzin know if tieflings were allowed to serve in the Osirian military?
You would, and no. At least not openly.
Okay.
To draw a parallel with our world, it would be like members of an oppressed ethnic or racial group being allowed to serve in a European military during this time. Maybe in a low-level capacity where people could shunt them off to the side or
Right.
sent off to the front lines.
But they
to
wouldn't
die.
be given any real
But they
responsibility.
wouldn't be given a
Grunts,
rank.
you know,
Yeah.
bullet fodder or water carriers. Right.
I think we should get this over with.
I won't say
Just
I'm
worried
raring to
about-
go, but
I'm worried about how burnt out and unprepared we are.
But do you think we could get away with sleeping in here? Like, is there somewhere we could hide?
I'm not sure we can.
I don't think we can. It worries me. There'll be more of them coming.
How many of them were left?
Fuck knows, it could be thousands, you know. There's a lot of undead shit out there
Yeah,
behind this
but
barrier.
might be worth actually. Let's look back through this. After he said there were 30 left, how many
But
did
the thing
he
is,
lose?
there were 30 left, and at that point, that meant 30 that were alive.
Yeah.
If there could have been a whole battalion or half battalion, like 250. That doesn't mean they're not all still here, but undead.
We don't know how many were here before then. We don't know.
That's
We
true.
don't know anything.
Yeah, and with all the undead around here, it might not just be this group, it might be lots. Because 30 left, that's all very well, but like I say, 30 alive.
I don't think
And they
there's
won't be
anyone left
alive
alive
anymore.
down here.
What was that?
I said I don't think that there's anyone who'd be left alive down here.
Definitely not. There's been no one alive after the pillars.
My gut's saying get the fuck out of here. But
No, but we can't, can we? I look at Scamp.
I'm sorry.
Don't be.
Scamp, if there is something down there
Jeffrey
that...
quietly sort of picks at your hair as if searching for mints.
Can we just say generally that Jeffrey is left a little bit behind?
Jeffrey
for every
stays a
battle?
little bit behind for a fight until the day...
20 feet behind.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
good while behind. Jeffrey
Oh.
does not get involved in combat.
What were you going to say?
If there's something down there, Scamp, that is calling to you, and it is something sinister, do not believe for a second that I will not throw you over my shoulder and carry you out of here myself.
Yeah, fucking same, darling.
Because we're friends, and it would be extremely remiss of me if I were to let you throw your life away in such a pointless effort.
If we're friends, and we are, you've got to let me do this.
I think we've got to know.
You didn't let me throw my life away at Slavitska's Isle. I'm
It's
not
'cause
going to
you're
let
being
you throw
ridiculous.
your life away here.
I think we need to at least know. If it's something
You know what
awful,
it's like.
we run.
Do you know what it's like to have no idea who you are, where you came from, what you are?
Not in the same way you do, I'm sure. But I...
Never felt a pull to anything like this.
Well, we'd best have a look then, hadn't we?
I'm sorry.
Although,
Hey,
bear
don't
in
be
mind,
sorry.
Scamp, we've said before, you're special. You've got a gift. But there's those who would seek to exploit that gift.
I think I get Corzin's point. The only point is if you're in danger, we're getting you out.
Agreed.
If you're not, great. You know?
We're definitely in danger.
Well, I mean, but if the pull is something really awful,
I think it probably is, but I think we have to know.
yeah, agreed. Shall we go?
No time at the present.
I don't think we can do a proper rest. Not here.
I've still got a bit of fight left in me.
Me too. But hey, I can breathe fire now. We're going to be fine.
You step forward, bracing yourselves, and move over to the huge stone door. It's wide enough for you to slip through without needing to open it any further. Beyond, there is a corridor about 60 feet long, wide enough for all four of you to walk abreast this time, and lit by gleaming, sort of golden light glowing crystals set in sort of sconces on the wall, similar to the ones you saw in the private rooms, and shaped. It's curious, they're actually shaped a bit like eggs, just these glowing light eggs. And they're...
How well attached to the walls are they?
They're about 10 foot up, so you probably need to, like, maybe Celestia could reach them without a step ladder or something, but they look like they're just resting in those little sockets.
Okay.
As far as you can tell.
I see Scamp buying it. Do you want one?
Yeah.
Okay. I reach up. Try and grab one.
Give me an acrobatics check. Just for the
Just for the fun
bit
of
of a
it.
reach.
Yeah. 14?
It takes a couple of jumps, but you manage to just figure one out and grab it just before it falls and shatters. Okay, you have acquired
Right, there
a
you go.
lightstone.
Give them one.
Lightstone. Okay.
Taking this with you, the corridor continues this for about 60 feet before it opens up into a wide arched chamber. There are figures within that do not attack upon your approach. The chamber beyond is arched, and you would guess it's very close to the centre of this pyramid, maybe a little bit below where the ground level is right now, maybe around the same level. It arches up in white stone to the vaulted ceiling, and there are pillars, just 6 in total at intervals, to help support the roof. You notice that there are symbols scratched into 4 of the pillars. The 2 closest the closest pairs, which you can immediately tell would be traps similar to the glyph you saw before, but not really close enough for them to activate.
Okay.
You'd need to get close for those to go off. Again, and near the furthest set of pillars, towards the back of the chamber, the whole chamber is, I want to say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 70 feet. 70 feet long in total. There are actually a couple of places where the blocks in the ground have been removed, set to one side, and what look like sharpened stakes or spikes have been embedded into the ground. Just very open pit traps. There is a dais and a raised sort of platform at the far back of the room. You can just make out that there is a doorway beyond that, but it's blocked by the dais. You can't really see. You'd have to walk behind it to get to that doorway.
Okay.
Around the dais are clustered silver drinking vessels, golden cups, shining, glimmering objects, torques, anklets, chains. Just a small hoard of wealth, and again, many of those really nice sort of glazed earthenwares, just piled around in a hoard, as well as you recognise what look like bolts of Aradnane, a couple of bolts of Aradnane silk, some jars of spices.
As in spider silk.
Yeah, as in spider silk, but woven into bolts suitable for export. Some dyed fabrics, more common, mundane, ordinary loot of a sort. And at the top of this dais there is a throne of burnished bronze with gold highlight, sort of gold inlay on it. And above and behind it, sculpted into the face of the ceiling so that it looks down from above whoever would sit upon this throne, is a great grinning skull of the same stylized design as in the bas reliefs. As you look forward, and it seems to leer down at you, or maybe it's welcoming you, it's not clear. There's something straight at once ominous and friendly about it. But there's a figure sat upon the throne. Before I get to it, I will say that there are also 6 other figures in the room. Standing near the front, the 4 pillars, 1 to each pillar, you can see more of these ancient legionaries standing to attention.
Right.
Far behind them, by the pillars with the pit traps, you can see there are 3 kind of figures in old, torn and tattered redcoats. Orcs. Again, decayed looking. And they are moving about. They have muskets currently shoulder holsters. But they are busy moving, carrying plates of pine nuts, jugs of pine moonshine, freshly, what seem to be cooked roots through some means. A veritable feast, which they are bringing up to the figure seated on the throne. You can see above there is an orc, maybe in his middle age, with beige skin, blonde hair thin plastered to his scalp, slightly beady but smiling black eyes. And he is vastly corpulent. He is ridiculously overweight. His folds almost seem to spill out onto the sides of the throne.
Are his eyes like flat black, or are they?
No,
black
they're just very
irises?
dark brown.
Okay,
very
cool.
dark.
Okay, yeah.
And
Good call, though.
he is dressed in you can see he has an old officer-style red coat with the double-breasted buttons, which would have been, which you would know, Corzin, is that it would be issue for a mid-ranking mage in the Osirian army.
Right, yeah.
It is now spread wide because of his expanse and
They're at the very least a first lieutenant.
Yeah, and the shirt underneath, once white, now stained with long sweat and and time, is kind of more of a brownish colour. But every finger is bedecked with gold, with rings, many of them silver, some bronze, a few gold, some with jewels. He wears a long chain around his neck in gold. Platters of food and drink are gathered around him. The only part of him that's not really vast is legs, which are, well, they're bulky, but they look like he hasn't really moved much. And in the very centre of his forehead, you can just make out there's something glinting in silver. Give me a perception check.
Okay.
Ooh, 19.
19.
11.
With the 19s, you see that there is a tiny, about 1 inch in every dimension, silver skull, grinning, but with slightly narrowed in appreciation looking eye holes.
Ooh.
As far as you can tell, just embedded in the flesh.
Is it like Friend's skull?
Like Friend's skull, but this one looks, for a skull, fatter and more complacent in some way in its design. Like
Big boned.
Yeah, the bones are bigger, the grin is wider, and the sockets are kind of squidged in so that they're more like that sort of, they look a little bit more sleepy almost. And as you enter, and there's nowhere to hide approaching this. There's not really any way to provide stealthily. The whole place is lit by light stones.
Okay.
The old orc kind of shoving a handful of pine nuts into his mouth and washing it down with what, even from here, you can smell is diluted pine moonshine.
Ooh.
Calls out to you.
Welcome. It's been a long time since I had such lively guests. Please, come closer. I won't bite.
Do you promise?
Well, I'm sure you could persuade me to, but as things stand...
What's your name?
You can call me Ascidian.
Does that name ring any bells for...
It's not a standard Orcish name.
Okay.
Bit weird.
It suits you well, Celestia Stardust. Nice to meet you.
He extends a piggy ring-covered hand, but makes no effort to get up. If you want to shake it, you'd have to walk all the way up the throne.
I bow.
Okay.
I do not go any closer.
You guys are kind of at the edge of this room.
Yeah.
Still kind of in the hallway, but not fully entering the full throne room.
Yes. You seem quite a charming sort. I could be charming too. Why don't you come over here and give me a smile?
Oh.
Celestia, roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, I hate this. Oh. Oh, my wisdom's not good, guys.
Roll well.
Can I do some stuff that uses a bonus action?
Yes, you can.
I don't seem to think
That's
have
12.
any sort of effect.
This guy's pretty funny. You figure you can trust him.
Yeah.
Like, how much? Like,
You are charmed. You are blatantly
I
charmed.
fucking want
You are
to.
charmed.
Alright then.
Yeah.
I walk in.
Do you have advantage on those as an elf?
Oh, I do.
That's a good
Okay,
point.
well,
Right,
again.
sorry, apologies. Elf stuff.
Forgot about that.
Well, the second one was a 2, so
Right.
fuck
Yeah,
that.
you reckon you can trust this guy? He seems pretty harmless. Like he's just a jolly fat man.
Yeah, go on then. I go in.
Can I use a bonus action to convert a spell slot to a sorcery point?
Yes, you can. You just sort of feel just a little bit of energy condense within you.
I mean, I guess if he looks that cute, I go over and shake his hand.
It's kind of oily and greasy, but in an adorable sort of way. You still feel the need to rub your hand, to clean your hand afterwards, but it's all part of his charm.
Oh, I like you. Why
I
don't
like
you fetch
you.
me some of those nuts?
Yeah, alright then. Go on.
Can I do the same thing again, please?
You do. What do the pair of... Yeah, Fighty is kind of looking around like,
No,
I
it's
see
not
there's
good.
some weird stuff going on here.
Oh, come now. I'm sure we can be friends.
Friend, are you there?
Fighty seems a little suspect to this, and you hear a voice in your head. Always.
This is the place, right?
And that is what we've come for. It
Can he
is
see you?
not unless I want him to. And I don't think I care to. It is that is wasted on him.
Can you get it off him?
Not by myself. But that's why we're here. That should be mine or yours and no one else's. You can still feel it calling.
Yeah.
We need that. You or me, doesn't matter which, but it is wasted, stuck here, serving nothing except that creature's greed. If things go really badly, I can help, but I will need a minute of your time. When you have no time, if you will give me a minute of yours, I can help.
I don't know what you mean, but okay.
Done. I won't take that minute until you have no choice, and there is nothing else that can help you, because we're friends.
We're friends.
All right. I'm here. I'll support you however I can. As I am now, with these limitations, all I can do is move and push, but I am yours to command for whilst we are here. Anything you need me to do that I can do, I will. We're in this together.
Okay.
Let's get it back. Corzin, how are you reacting to this? To the fact that Celestia has wandered up and is now
feeding him nuts.
Feeding him nuts, and he's kind of gently taps his thigh as well, like, "Come, take a seat."
All right.
I mean, I imagine I sit on him, don't
Yeah,
I?
you do. You sit on his lap, Santa Claus style, and feed him pine nuts.
God.
All right. He's gonna call out, Celestia. What are you doing?
He's fine. He's a friend.
I gotta say, I do not feel comfortable about the way he's talking. There's no need to be uncivilized about this.
Celestia, get out of his lap now.
Why?
Because he doesn't deserve this kind of loyalty, and this kind of loyalty is above the person you are.
Seems fine to me.
Oh, come now. I'm sure I could persuade you otherwise.
He's quite nice.
Roll a wisdom save.
Okay.
Is there a door behind the throne?
There is, you can just make out there is a doorway behind the throne, and there is a door, but you need to move to a different position to see it.
Friend, can you open a door?
7.
I can open a door that would require a normal person's strength to open. I couldn't shove open a massive stone door, if that's what you're asking for.
Okay.
Is that 7?
Just checking.
7.
You know, maybe he can persuade you otherwise. He seems like, yeah, maybe he could be a pretty trustworthy type. You are charmed.
You're so charmed.
I'm going to say it's been a minute. So, Celestia, you can make your wisdom save again if you want.
Okay. Oh, I get advantage because elf.
'Cause
So
elf?
I literally always forget stuff like that, like the
Yeah.
racial stuff.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
You take a moment and just listening as you watch. Corzin's arguments haven't really swayed you, but then you see a moment as Corzin seems to blink and accept that, yeah, maybe this guy's alright. And that's so out of character for Corzin that it sort of shakes you out of it and you realise, what the fuck?
I leap off his lap. What the fuck just happened?
It's alright. There's no need.
No, don't stop talking. You don't get to talk to me anymore.
Yep.
Can I use my sorcery points to get a new spell slot, please?
You can. You have just been quietly gathering and converting energy this whole time.
Yeah, it's not the most efficient way, but it gives me a third spell back.
Please, are you sure there's nothing I can do to convince you?
Who was that at?
That was, under the circumstances, back at you, because you're still charmed. Corzin has not yet reacted too much to Scamp.
15? Oh, hang on, yeah, advantage. Still 15.
15 is the save DC.
Ooh.
So you can feel this. Oh, it's almost like a voice. Almost like a voice. It's not exactly a words, but if this feeling was in words, it would say, "Relax. It's okay. You don't need to worry about anything. You can trust this. Just go with
Onto
the flow."
death.
Jump on.
Literally, that's what's happening. We're having a Harry Potter moment.
Yeah.
I shake my hand and go, "Shut up! Stop talking. I know what you're doing. Just stop it."
I'm gonna wait for any sign of aggression and then cast a spell if there is.
Oh. You are a difficult sort, aren't you?
I'm gonna stick my fingers in my ears.
It's all right. You will come to learn how useful it is to
Stick my fingers in my ears.
do
Turn
what
round.
I
Nope.
want in time. You there, what's your name? He says to Corzin.
Corzin Horhace.
Corzin, please take a look at that. He says, please, and he gestures to one of the glyphs. Look. You
Okay,
are
I'm gonna cast
charmed.
Fireball.
Yeah. And by the way, you're charmed, and one of the effects of being under his charm is you can't resist the command while charmed.
Right, okay.
because he has an ability very similar to the College of Glamour ability.
Right.
So as you at the same moment you are turning to look at the glyph, you're fireballing him.
Yes.
Okay.
But so that it won't hit Celestia.
You can.
And if I can't hit any of the other figures,
He's
great.
kind of high up, but yeah, I'm going to say you can hit one of the expeditionaries. But yeah, we'll resolve this. So, same next time as that happens, make a wisdom save, Corzin, as you turn and look at the glyph.
Rubbish.
14.
Okay, that's I did pick that up and moved. As a 19, so he actually, despite his enormous girth and his -3 dexterity save, he actually made that.
Oh,
Jeez.
God damn it. It was 24.
Okay, so he takes 12 points of damage. Keep that in mind.
Fuck it.
No, 28, sorry.
28, okay, 14, so that's...
Having
And is what he's doing concentration?
That bit wasn't, but as that's happening... Sorry, what was your wisdom save, Corzin?
14.
14. Okay, you that is enough to make it, and you kind of glance, and your self-preservation instincts
Wait, what?
kick in
No!
enough for you to avoid the worst of it as the glyph flares, and you feel a searing pain through your head, taking 12 half to 6 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
Which will give you, and you know what? Yeah, you can make a wisdom save with advantage to break off the charm now that you've been injured by it.
Okay.
This is all happening in a few moments.
Okay, that's a 21.
Okay, you suddenly realise, what the fuck? You look up, and as
Oh, he's
the
messing with our
fires
heads.
blast away, you can see Ascidian is only slightly singed, and the grin spreads wider and wider from his throne. Oh, such difficulties. But don't worry. You'll all come to obey in time.
Can I do something to him?
You can in a week.
Oh.
Because that's where we're going. Because we're going to pick up with rolling initiative.
God
At
damn
the
it.
start of next week. Thank you all very much for listening. Thank you all very much for playing. And farewell from all of us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs. Fair seas and natural 20s.
Scattered notes in dusty halls, an icy flame above that calls. Upon a throne both dark and still, a maddened king will bend your will.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.